dreams. Oh, oh. I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Come on, just breathe it in. Breathe everything in. Breathe in the presence of the people you love, which is you in this case. Good morning from my side. Breathe in your new setting. How amazing does the set look? Absolutely beautiful. Nikki Nix and the rest of this team, absolutely amazing. And then breathe in the fact that, yes, I know a lot of people say we've already won the World Cup. We're not quite there yet. But of course, we put in a mammoth, titanic performance to beat France, 29-28, and then question the existence of everything, really. What a tense night. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I haven't slept. Some sun's come through, bring the energy, but the Boks have done that all yesterday. Can you believe it? Put your hands together. Yeah, please. The emotion, just thinking about right now, it's kept me up all night. But I'm here to talk about that and so much more. It's your Feel Good Breakfast show, obviously, this morning. There's a lot to go through. Obviously, not just the Rugby World Cup, but there's another World Cup going on at the moment as well, The
small matter of a cricketing World Cup happening, and of course, the Proteas dominating. I think we were second on the log on the points table.
Man.
Absolutely amazing, hitting straps at the right time. And of course, we're going to have a couple of our favourites, Zahir Adams and Faye Tunnicliffe, of course, a Western Province and a Proteas cricketer, joining us to put you through your paces a little bit as well. But we're going to get all into all of the action over the weekend. Who do we need to watch?
Now on a serious note, though, we're going to be bringing you some light on the avian flu and how this affects the output of eggs in the country. Now, a lot of us will be talking about what's going on, plus some egg alternatives that you could try, especially if you are trying to beat the cost that might be incurring on this one. A lot more coming through, of course, right? Obviously, finally, we're going to be doing things the perfect way we can. Obviously, kicking away the Monday blues. We've got the one and only Zakesman Tweedy in the building. Yes,
Thank you.
What a way to
Beautiful.
celebrate.
Oh, man. So hopefully you feel the same level of fierceness as we feel this morning. Share your love for the Boks. In fact, share your love for everything this morning, including this beautiful studio and another one of our beautiful friends. Good morning, Zozo. Did you sleep through any of the rugby last night? Be honest, please.
G-Man, I told you that in confidence. I told you I stayed awake until halftime and then I got a foot rub and I fell asleep, okay? But I woke up to France looking really sad and we thought we're going to stay humble today and talk about the eggs and not the Springboks. So for our Good Morning Post, we are asking you, in wake of the current avian flu outbreak, we wanted to know, have you reduced your egg intake, perhaps stopped completely, or just continued as per usual? Well, I personally have not experience the increase in eggs. It's probably because we haven't bought since, but we will re-evaluate that in our household. But let us know with yours. Perhaps you want to share a voice note. You're welcome to do that. Our number is 063 408 8863. And let us know, what do you think of our beautiful studio? I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we haven't even showed you the kitchen yet, and it is a kitchen made out of dreams. But for now, you get to enjoy our dining room area as well as our beautiful lounge. And on that note, let's catch up with the headlines. Here's Rob.
Oh, yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Zoe. And before we head into the kitchen, enjoy for the first time the news from this incredible background that I stand in. Now, starting off with national duties first. Now, Police Minister Becky Cele has called on law enforcement to step up their efforts to eliminate criminality during the coming festive season. Now, the minister said South Africans and all the country's visitors have a right to enjoy life and also have a right to enjoy the festive season. Now, Cele called on all law enforcement to ensure that these people were safe wherever they were. Now, he also added, coming through with a quote saying, "Give criminals a run for their money. Make sure that they are hit hard," unquote. Now, carrying on with national headlines, data released by Statistics SA has shown that manufacturing production increased by 1.6% in August compared to 2.2% in July. Now, the largest contribution came from petroleum, chemical plastic, basic iron ore, steel, and metal products, among others. Meanwhile, mining production decreased by 2.5% in August. Now, the largest negative contributions came from diamonds, manganese ore, and metallic minerals. On top of this, on a month-to-month seasonally adjusted basis, mining production increased by 0.8%. Well, from our national headlines, let's head over to international news. Now, the incumbent Liberian president and the candidate of the Coalition for Democratic Change, George Weah, as well as former president, or vice president, Joseph Boakai, the candidate of the United Party, are in a close race as results of Tuesday's elections continue to trickle in. Now, results so far show that Weah has polled 44.58% of the votes, and Boakai has got 43.1%. Now, to be announced the winner, a candidate must have over 50% of the total votes cast. Now, in the event that neither candidate secures the required percentage, the top two will go to a runoff. Well, interesting stuff. We look forward to those results. For now, though, let's dive into more of the headlines taking place. And a new earthquake has hit Western Afghanistan, the third in a week since powerful quakes on October the 8th killed some 2,000 people. Now, the magnitude 6.3 quake struck near the city of Herat at a depth of 6.3 kilometers. Now, at least one person has died, with hundreds being treated for injuries in hospitals. And some 90% of those who died in the earlier quakes were women and children. Now, the UN's children agency, UNICEF, had said. Now, Afghanistan has been reeling from an economic crisis since the Taliban came into power. Well, lastly, in our headlines for this morning, we'll do it all again in an hour, of course. But for now, though, the mother city has once again secured a big time at the World Travel Awards Africa. Now, with this news released yesterday, Cape Town remains the continent's leading city destination, the third consecutive year that it has bagged this coveted accolade. And Cape Town was also voted Africa's leading city break destination, the leading seaside metropolitan destination, and Table Mountain was again named the continent's leading tourist attraction, and the Cape Town Cruise Terminal won the Best Cruise Terminal Award. Now, these awards are a testament to the mother city's rich diversity of assets that celebrate its people and products. With that note, I say one thing: congratulations, Cape Town. But now, though, let's dive into the rest of the headlines. Here's G-Man with the latest when it comes to all the high-stakes action of sport.
Yes, you can believe again. It's rugby that kicks us off this morning, and in a high-stakes Parisian face-off, the Springboks pulled off a remarkable victory there, edging past France by 1 point, 29-28, in a pulsating Rugby World Cup quarter-final clash, definitely echoing the 95 legendary behavior. Absolutely amazing. The win by our boys sets the stage for an epic semi-final showdown against England, who of course overcame a gutsy Fijian side, and that'll happen next week. So amidst overwhelming expectations and the boisterousness of a home crowd that were not holding back, the Springboks showcased their indomitable spirit and rugby prowess, proving that they can surmount formidable challenges, and we're going to need it. In the other semi-final clash, of course, the All Blacks will clash against the Rugby Championship foes Argentina on Friday evening. Now, let's stay with the good news centered on rugby. This time, the shorter format. The Springbok Women's Sevens team had one goal in mind: to win the Rugby Africa Women's Sevens Olympic qualifier and secure their place, of course, in the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. While their determination has paid off in Tunisia. Head coach Renfred Dazel, he expressed immense gratitude after their hard-fought victory. And in the final, they bested Kenya 12-7 following a convincing 31-0 win over Zambia, in fact, in that semi-final berth. Now, South Africa faced formidable challenges as well, with Nadine Roos scoring the opening try. Despite Kenya's strong defence, our ladies persevered and booked their spot in Paris. Incredible. Now let's turn to more cricketing good news. And the Proteas women made a strong comeback, sealing an 11-run victory in their 5th T20 international against New Zealand in Benoni to level the series at 1 apiece. So they posted a competitive 155 for 5 with some standout performances from Tasman Brits, who was in there with 45, then Sine Lewis, as she does, knocking 36 not out. Nadine de Klerk also then weighed in with 3 for 24, and Masabatsa Class got 3 wickets as well, playing some pivotal roles in limiting New Zealand to 144 for 8. So despite losing the toss, Laura Wolfart and Brits set a solid foundation, while a partnership between Brits and Anneke Bosch reached 60 runs as well to lock down that win. Now let's bring it a little bit closer to the mother city for this one. In an exhilarating showdown at the Cape Town Marathon, Ethiopia's Adane Kebere Gebre narrowly clinched the men's title, and I mean narrowly, defeating local favourite Stephen Mokoka. So thousands of participants and probably twice as many people lining the streets. They all gathered for the 42.2-kilometer race, the second stage of its 3-year Abbott World Marathon Majors candidacy. And boy, did we not put our hand up. So Gebre and Mokoka engaged in a thrilling final 50-meter sprint, with Gebre crossing the line in our time of 2 hours, 11 minutes and 26 seconds. Mokoka, a 3-time Cape Town Marathon champion, of course, settled for the runner-up in a time of 2 hours, 11:30. Then in the women's race, it was an all-Ethiopian podium and dominance, with Tsige Haile Selassie Abreha securing victory in 2 hours, 24 and 15, followed by Marasech Tsegaya Bayene in 2 hours, 26 minutes and 19 seconds. And then, of course, Shewarga Aline Amare finishing off that podium. Congratulations to all those weekend warriors as well that went out there and nailed their times or just finished this incredible race. And well done again for the Mother City for putting your hand up. And thank you, South Africa, for putting your hand up this weekend. We'll get through that celebratory sport throughout the next hour of the show. But right now, let's see what the weather has in store for us.
Thank you, G-Man. Well, let's take a look at your weather for today. The SA Weather Services have issued several warnings for thunderstorms and disruptive rain in several provinces for today. An orange level 5 warning has been issued for disruptive rain leading to flooding of roads and settlements between King Sabata in the Eastern Cape and Mandeni in KwaZulu-Natal. A yellow level 2 warning is in place for disruptive rain leading to localized flooding of informal settlements, roads, low-lying areas and bridges, as well as localized disruptions to municipal services in places between Buffalo City Metro and Port Edward. Then there's a yellow level 2 warning for severe thunderstorms with possible damage in winds, large amounts of small hail, heavy downpours and damage to poorly constructed settlements over the western and central interiors of Mpumalanga and Limpopo, as well as parts of Gauteng and the northeastern Free State and most parts of KwaZulu-Natal. Well, let's take a first look at your temperatures. Uppington, enjoy a hot 30 degrees Celsius for today. Well, it's time for us to turn our attention to your sunrise view. And does your sunrise encapsulate the beauty of nature? Does it put a spring in your step? Well, you stand a chance to win by sending in your sunrise photo from this morning, and you can win $100, and the best photo will be shown live on air. Remember to include a very short story or perhaps a weather report. You can do that via voice note or even just about your town. You can send that through to our WhatsApp line. Our number is 063-408-8863. And our winner for this morning is Roland from Belito in KwaZulu-Natal. And this is what he had to say. What a great way to start off one's day, enjoying nature's beauty, see the good in every day, and be grateful and kind to all. Well, Roland, thank you for that beautiful message. And yes, I would also have a grateful heart with a view like that. Well, send through your views. We can't wait to see them.
In fact, Zoe is so impressed by your photos from last week that she has offered to shave off some of her wedding budget, and this week she's going to pay our winners. So those winnings are coming from Team Zoe. We absolutely love it. Thank you, Zozo. So after the break, I think someone who must be just as proud as us, because her blood literally is green and gold. Faye Tunnicliffe is here to talk a little bit of cricket, yes, but to put Ryle through his paces with a cricketing-inspired workout. Then we're going to get into some of our weekend highlights as well. What did you get up to over the weekend? I would imagine, yes, there was a lot of sport watching, but we also got out and about. We'll find out what we got up to after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to the best of the good life. In an Afro fusion as eclectic as this, one must embrace their South Africanisms in every sense. Yeah, and I had to pay homage to, of course, toppling when in a space that is this beautiful. You've just got to love it. We are loving our new space, every fine detail, every nuance, how it makes us feel. It's absolutely beautiful. Come along with me as we take a look at the rest of this beautiful space. How comfortable do you feel right now, gang? Yes, please.
Are you comfortable?
I am very comfortable.
I feel like our chats are going to have a...
I don't think you can lean back on this couch.
I'm sure. I think you
to
could
sit
sit
upright.
on this couch.
I feel like all our conversations
couch.
are elevated.
Hey, beautiful.
Honestly, they have like some regal essence to our conversation now. There's going to be further opulence. This is
And
elevated.
good core strength.
Yeah.
Good core strength on the couch. We absolutely love our space. And clearly, our team has been very, very busy over the weekend. So to everyone from our side, to all of our partners who managed to pull off this minor miracle, thank you so much. We are in love with our brand new space. So we weren't working. Well, some of us might have been working over the weekend. Let's catch up with the team. Zozo, how was your weekend?
Mine was good. So we finally had our engagement shoot with our wedding photographer. So that was really cool.
Is
So
it a test run?
for me, it was a test run because remember, like my partner's not used to doing photos and things. So for me, it was quite nice that we were able to have this moment together. But on our wedding day, it's going to be him and his groomsmen and then me with my bridesmaids.
Yeah,
and it
you
will
don't
only
have
be
a lot of
after
time,
you
yeah.
say I do's that you'll be able to take photos together. But I mean, our wedding photographer, her name's Kyla Diamond. She is incredible and she really is so
Nailed it.
talented.
Well, looking
So
at the photos.
we had a lot
And
of
looks
fun.
like Robbie's pretty good in front of the camera as well, and behind
He enjoyed
whoever
it. He really enjoyed it. And then we just decided to escape the marathon madness because we live along the route. So we went to Hermanus just for the night to just get out. It was super windy, but it was very nice.
Did you keep the clothes on when you went to Hermanus and just rock up like this ultra glam?
I would
Just eloped. I love that.
No, the clothes were not kept on.
I absolutely
Buddy
love
boy,
that. Yeah,
busy
a good one,
weekend.
dude. I didn't work the show on Friday. It's been quite hectic for me traveling all over. So I got Friday off. So start off with the surf, of course. That was like baptism. Honestly, I don't know when last I've been in the water, and I didn't realize how much I missed it. A good reminder for all of us to fill up our cup, guys. Cheapers, creepers. You don't understand how fulfilling something for you is when you do it for you. And that's what I got to do in my surf. So that was really great. Also, the weekend we opened up with our pool. So we started swimming classes again.
Oh, brilliant.
Adults get to face their fears. We're starting a swimming program for kids. So that's really exciting. Finally, the season's here. We just had a little test run. The pool's looking magnificent. We put so much hard graft into turning that swamp into a...
How do schools get in touch with you to get their kids in your pool, bro?
Yeah, man, look,
How
I
do we
think for
get
now,
kids in
reach
there,
out to
man?
Gaia online. You can find it on Instagram, Facebook, etc. That's like also under my name, and that's a real cool place for adults, kids, whoever you are, to face your fears, get involved in the ocean as well, or any body of water by being able to just be competent while you swim. I think that's the most important thing right now, especially in our country. It's
The most important thing,
yeah,
bro.
man. And then obviously, I think Zoe's sort of wedding energy is like really got me elevated. I got a chance to spend time at my best friend's wedding.
Okay, wow, buddy, you had us
Getting
going there,
super
bro.
excited. What did
Slow
you do?
down, man. I was about to lie down on the couch and ask for therapy, dude.
But
Hang
bro,
on.
it was incredible in Philadelphia, of all places. Diamante Farm, the venue was incredible. That's my best friend, one of my best friends from school, Gavin, found the most beautiful woman in his life, and he's so happy. Look at him. Look at that moment.
Gavin.
All his friends, all his mates, liquids are flowing. He was so happy, man. It was such a good sight, such a beautiful sight to see. It got me really like, you know, in those fields, you know,
Let's go.
sort of like.
Can we have a countdown? Can we have like an
Me?
advent calendar for you now, buddy? I think that might be on
Don't
the
put
cards.
pressure there. Don't put any pressure there. But is this the bachelors you went to and then when we
Yes.
did a weekend highlight, it was still fragile?
Exactly that one. We even
That
phoned
makes
Carl
sense.
Wasty in there because Gav's a massive fan of him. So yeah, Gav was
brilliant.
thrilled.
Didn't we chat to Gav on the phone?
Yes,
bro?
yes, we did. That's the one.
You see, congratulations, Gav. We absolutely love you, man. Well, obviously, my family was back.
Yeah?
So I
Oh,
was
nice.
just
Reunions.
green spaces, get out there. We hit the Elephant Trail, which was absolutely beautiful. Found a new
Well
little
done.
section. I mean, there are so many different stretches. But what the kids were doing there, they were hairdressers doing a hair kind of styling effort on the rock with mud. And when you see your kids with mud in their hands and smiles on their faces, there is no greater joy. The pups rolled in a dead rat, which was like the most exciting thing that's ever happened in my son's life.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was absolutely made. But, of course, all our plans to watch the rugby last night, the two of them were quiche, man, absolutely down. And then, of course, the major highlights of the weekend. Just
Of
able
course,
to sit down and watch the Springboks beat France.
Yay!
And just about lose every marble in the process. That was crazy, man. I think all of us were questioning the existence of life, really, before the end of that match, but we've done it. We had the most amazing weekend from our side. We want to hear from you guys. What did you get up to over the weekend? What were your highs? What were your lows?
Let us know on social media. I know you are about to get yourself
wait.
into a bit of fitness.
Yeah, cricket-inspired fitness. Mzansi, I'll be back in just a sec. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to get warmed up.
Lest we forget, we've got to keep our eye not only on the Rugby World Cup, but of course the Proteas are shaping up to do something truly remarkable in the Cricket World Cup as well. I know we said we're not going to kind of throw it in the faces of our French opponents from last night, but if you want to share a little bit of a cheers on our socials, you can. But right now, let's talk cricket from a fitness perspective.
Oh, yes, there's so much sporting action happening. And, of course, we're not going to forget about the Cricket World Cup. And South Africa are really dominating, really slaying at the moment. So we thought, why not bring in one of the big guns themselves? Yes, and, of course, with all our cricket enthusiasts being absolutely hyped about this one, today we're going to be stepping onto the field with a twist. This will bring you fitness segment inspired by the world of cricket, like I just mentioned. So joining us is none other than professional women's cricket player and fitness guru. I'm talking about Faye Tunnicliffe in the building. Faye, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, lekker. I know you had a busy weekend. You had lots of cricket, provincial cricket, some tournaments at CPL,
Yeah.
and not only the cricket, but the Rugby World Cup. So we're all ready for the endorphin release right now. What do you got for us this morning?
Well, we're going to mainly be focusing on all the muscles that we really need to activate when we play cricket, before and after. So can we start it off?
Yeah, let's get into it because I'm dying to find out there's so much involved in cricket. You're bending over as a fielder, you're swinging, thoracic twisting as a batsman, you're doing crazy things with your shoulders and core as a bowler. So I can imagine there's a lot that goes into this, right? What are you starting with?
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to start off with some lunges. So we're really just getting
nice.
the lower extremities going.
All right.
Just going for eight lunges, easy game.
8 lunges, and again, I'm sure Mzansi can join in with this one as well, right? Anything you need to be concerned about when we are doing lunges? Any do's or don'ts?
So lunges, we don't want to get too far forward, otherwise really putting like a lot of strain on that knee.
Oh yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, just having,
Don't want to get too far forward. We really want to try and focus on staying a little bit more upright so we're getting into those glutes.
Stay upright.
Because in cricket, we sprint a lot, surprisingly. And so we really want to make sure that all those muscles are firing.
Oh, that makes a big difference. Just the difference in leaning over versus standing up. I feel that stimulation in the glute.
You want to be more glute dominant, not too
great
quad dominant.
point. I love that. Okay.
Right, next thing we're getting down into man maker.
The man maker. What is this?
So this is just a little bit of stability.
Okay.
So here we're going to just do a row here.
Oh, jeepers creepers. All right.
And then you're going to come up into a squat and push up.
And push up and
then
back down.
Back down.
All right. So this is almost like forcing the core to be really engaged because as I'm pulling the weight up, I can really feel my sort of waist and my hips twisting. So again, I can imagine a lot of core coming into play. Not only like what I'm feeling is the sort of posterior chain working, but geez, working both of them together at the same time. This is proper stimulation.
Really getting that core stimulation.
Yeah.
Right. Then next we're gonna go.
All right.
Just holding the dumbbell here.
Yeah, no breaks here, Tasia. Can we just go straight into it?
No rest for the rad.
All right. No rest for the rad.
All right, so we're just holding it here. And this is really, generally you'll go slightly heavier with the weight.
Okay.
So you really want to get that core stability going. We're just here and we're into a squat.
Ooh, I like this. So tell me something, how come, I mean, we always see the guys in the gym having like equal bars or it's weighted equally on both sides. What's the benefit of having the weight in one side only?
So this is really just stabilizing the core, making sure we're really getting into that core stability, especially for bowlers, because they really want to get that core going. Otherwise, they want to get that anti-rotation, all of that, making sure the core and glutes are a big thing as well.
And I guess if you really think about it in sport, nothing's really equal. You're always utilizing one side more than the other. You're always compensating. There's always a dominant position or side. So that kind of makes sense as well. I like that.
Especially in cricket. Generally, a person's left-handed, right-handed, so you really want to get the one side going that is dominant. So now we're going to get into the shoulders.
All right.
Going for a basic shoulder press. And with this one, we really want to control the descent. Okay, so we're focusing on that eccentric movement.
Oh yeah, that puts proper stimulation on the shoulder right there. So Faye coming through with absolute golden nuggets here, and we're only just getting started on Mzansi, so don't go anywhere. Stick around. We're going to be carrying on with round 2 with Faye Tunnicliffe in just a bit, getting you inspired for not only working out, not only for the Cricket World Cup, but just to be feeling lekker.
Oh, well, listen, we're going to continue that fitness workout when we get back. And then, yes, we have a lot of sporting highlights to unpack. That is coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, good morning, you beauties. The conversation is rich already this morning. So much to celebrate. Enter the electrifying arena of the 2023 Cricket World Cup in India. I know we're talking a lot of rugby this morning, but lest we forget, the Proteas are on the charge. Some astounding initial victories. Of course, Quinton de Kock's remarkable back-to-back century streak, we'll call it. New Zealand's resurgence after they were all but written off. And I think India's cool composure under the most pressure. Host pressure in India lands different. It is going to be a thrilling tournament, and we are here for that. And here to join us and delve a little deeper into the tournament is Proteas woman and Western Province cricketer Faith Tunnicliffe and renowned cricketing journalist Zahir Adams. You guys are the first to do a test run on our brand new couch, eh?
Beautiful.
We designed it for core strength.
Cool.
Just for you,
amazing.
Faith, just so you've got that added strength. Zahir, great to see you again, my friend. I kind of see you in the back of the rugby journalists' rooms going, guys, we're doing pretty well in the cricket field. Like we're probably going to win this cricket thing as well. I got to ask, from a journo's perspective, this is a dream start. The right kind of momentum, the right kind of mindset, the right kind of individuals putting their hand up. You've got to be feeling good.
Absolutely. When you beat Australia by 134, that's when the momentum starts building. That's when people go, and the side actually go quite deep here because, as you rightly said, slipping under the radar. The Springboks very much taking prominence, but Themba and his boys are putting their hands up there in India.
How do we get this balance right? Because we need a team to gel, to balance each other out. We need a bowling attack. We need the batting lineup to go deep, but we also need individuals to stand up and shine. How are the Proteas getting that balance right now at the moment? Because we believe, and I don't want to put too much out there in the weight of expectation, but there is a depth of belief in that side, maybe in the depths of the squad. I don't know. How are you feeling about it?
Absolutely. I think their mentality at the moment is amazing. They're playing really positive cricket.
Confident cricket.
Yeah, I mean, just in our power plays alone, the fact that we're hitting sort of 100 plus and we are like really dominating the space. I think the boys are just on the charge. I think they have a lot to prove to the country and to themselves.
How important is it to have the leaders in the team leading, making the right decisions, but also performing. Because these days you're going to need 2 or 3 standout performances, not just one person to carry an innings through. Quinton de Kock, is he the sign that we have been waiting for? Because he's one of those talismanic players. When he's on fire, he is on fire.
He's one of those guys that said, so he's retiring after the World Cup. He's done after the World Cup. And he's just said, this is my tournament. I'm going to take it by the scruff of the neck. I'm going to actually just put my front foot forward. And he's going. He's definitely wanting to leave his stamp and leave on a high. And that's Corny. We all know Corny. He always looks like he's easygoing. He doesn't really care. But he cares deeply, and it burns. That proton fire.
Well, to the point that he actually had to take a mental break to get his mind out of that kind of obsessive space. And I think when you get to these guys who are on that level, they must obsess about it. That's why the expectation. You think we have high expectations of your guys' performance. I scarcely think we come close to how much expectation is on your shoulders. Let's talk about expectations going into the tournament now. New Zealand, all but written off, now kind of look like favourites, and I'm not going to put favourites title on our shoulders at all. How are you feeling about them and the ecosystem? Some fantastic wins with mixed opposition, but they seem to be on the right kind of momentum build.
Yeah, listen, they've got big match temperament. They know how to win.
Exactly.
They've been in a final before. Yeah, they had an amazing contest with England back in the day, and I think they know how to win. And I think they're there to win, put their stamp on world cricket, and really take the trophy home.
Yeah, they've kind of made these kind of tournaments their thing. They might not be the biggest team in terms of their franchise size, in terms of their country size, the pool that they get to draw from. But like you say, BMT is kind of their superhero power, which makes me scared. India, playing with that kind of cool, calm, kind of demeanor in that kind of a cauldron in front of 100,000, I'm sure fans, we don't know pressure like Indian pressure on their own players. That made me nervous. Seeing an Indian team that cool, calm and collected, that's got to send shivers down your spine.
I've been in that cauldron, India, Pakistan, and literally you just get goosebumps everywhere. So can you imagine being in the middle there, trying to face the likes of Shah, Afridi, all of that? It is absolutely massive. And that's what separates India. They know how to go into those spaces and then perform under that type of pressure. And that takes a special human being to do it in front of not just 135,000, billions and billions watching all over the world. And that's what India's all about.
Yep, it's going to be a tough one to beat India, but I think a couple of teams putting their hand up right now, and we absolutely love that. South Africa, our next draw, up against the Netherlands, so hopefully we'll bring that run rate right back up there, sitting third on the log at the moment, going beautifully for the Proteas. In fact, for South African sport, it is going amazingly well, and Faye is going to help our young other Springbok national colours holder get through a bit of a cricketing workout in a moment.
Yeah, let's have some fun once again. We had an awesome workout with Faye, really going through the business, really going through the entire process of stimulating the body. We were working on the core, we were stimulating the posterior and anterior chain. And at the same time, a good reminder to you, Mzansi, although we were using dumbbells for our workout, it doesn't matter if you have or do not have equipment, especially if you are at home. The best and most important thing is that you move. So you can use like water bottles for this, bags with weight in. I even train with some bricks, so it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do this, as long as you keep moving. And Faye's joining us once again to show us round 2 of how we stimulate the body. And obviously, this is definitely cricket inspired, obviously. What was the total? We scored like 300 and something runs, I think, against Australia.
There was a lot.
Come on, that is power, baby. All right, so Faye, what do you got for us for round 2? I love that first session. I'm feeling warm and ready.
Awesome. All right, so next thing, we're just going to do sort of kind of like a cool down type of thing. There's something you can do before, after, even during. If you're kind of feeling cow corner, then you can just do this little flow.
Okay, nice.
So main thing, we're just going to get down, touch the toes.
If you can.
And then into a squat, just like this. And then we're going back up and walking it out, okay? And then we go into a push-up, and we push up and back.
Keeping the hips down nice and low. Ooh, okay, so I can feel the abs stretching out nicely there. Whoa.
There we go, nice. And then we push it back and walk our hands all the way up and back up.
Back to restart. All right, so this is something that I find a lot of people don't do. Warm up, warm down. Why is this so important?
Listen, you got to get your muscles used to kind of like getting activated, deactivating, then activating again. Because in cricket especially, you can be fielding on the boundary, especially in test cricket, in longer format cricket, you can be fielding the boundary, you don't touch the ball for 10, 15 minutes. And then suddenly you got to get going again.
Just quickly move, and move in a crazy direction or weird way. And again, I would imagine anyone that kind of like starting a fitness journey, this is also something they could incorporate, right?
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, so let's go through that again. So you crouch down all the way down to the ground, right?
Yeah, so you're touching your toes.
Yep.
And then you're going into a squat, really opening up those hips. Because in
yeah.
cricket, there's a lot of sort of hip rotation, okay? And then we go back up, and then you're walking your hands down, and then into a push-up,
Nice.
and then you push back up, just like that. Really feel that stretch.
Oh, this is a lovely one for the abs, guys. If you want to stretch them out, then you definitely want to try that.
And then you push back up and walk it all the way out.
Walk it out. So like an inchworm, a push-up, like a core, everything mixed into one.
Everything's
That's
going.
beautiful.
Everything's going, yeah.
Well played, all right.
Exactly.
What else
Yeah.
you got for us?
All right, then we're gonna go into a bit of a dead bug. So this is really for core activation. So you're gonna hold the dumbbell on the one side,
Okay.
then you're gonna have your feet up. Okay, and then you're going opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay, so the arm goes down, leg goes out. There we go. And at the top, you're gonna switch over. Okay, and switch, there you go.
Oh, nice.
This really gets the core going,
Yeah.
especially for bowlers. This is so important. That is, as well as a lot of core activation.
And you can kind of feel like that sort of cross chain, that sling working in conjunction with each other. I'd imagine
Exactly.
runners, throwers, bowlers really can capitalize on something like this. Almost any athlete, I'd imagine, would need to get this thing woken up because, whoa, I can feel how powerful it could be if we stimulate it and really get it strong.
Absolutely.
Proper connection, I love that.
This one,
Nice.
you're also getting into the shoulder there. It's great. This can be done with bands, be done with anything. You don't want to go too heavy on this. Otherwise, you really put a lot of like pressure on your shoulder.
Absolutely love it, Faith. Thank you so much for coming through. Not only for showing us how to move and get warmed up, but also sharing some great insights. You're obviously one of the pros. You're inspiring not only women, but I think just cricket players in general. You are a hard worker, not only representing our province, but our country too. So thank you for the sacrifice, the hard work you're putting into this, and the fact that you are inspiring is pretty much fact of the matter that I can see you've got all the boxes ticked. You're working hard, and that's something I love. So thank you so much, Faye. Wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Ra. Well, listen, we are taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. When we get back, the sporting talk continues. We're going to unpack last night's game and then put the spotlight on Springbok player Cheslin Colby. That and a whole lot more still on its way.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast show.
Yeah, that's the guitar riff we need to see in this discussion. Time to turn our attention to the rugby magic of this weekend, brought to you by the very proud and very happy sponsors of the 2023 Rugby World Cup, Total Energies. And our very special guest this morning is someone who must be struggling to keep his objectivity at times like this, as sports journalist Abuyile Sabula. Abu, but tough job being a journo at weekends like this, but the best job in the world. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure you must be absolutely exhausted. We're going to wait just a moment. We're going to just enjoy the glow of the Springboks and talk about some of those other quarterfinals. Wales and Argentina. What a tussle. So much passion. Maybe not the cleanest, most beautiful rugby we've seen, but so much fire out there. For those who doubted the Argentinian spirit and commitment to the game and where they kind of fit into the bigger ecosystem, an incredible performance.
Yeah, definitely. I actually was one of those who doubted Argentina, coming into this
You're not alone,
quarterfinal against Wales. I thought, Wales had the upper edge. I thought they played really well. Dan Bigger really controlled the team. At fly half, they have, strong forwards. They have a strong outfield, players like Louis Reed-Zammit, So I thought Wales had it. I thought Wales were going straight to the
On paper they did, though.
On paper they did, but Argentina, Argentina, they like to play on scrappy ball, on loose ball, and they did exactly that against Wales. They were trailing at halftime 10-6, came back in the second half, really, really stuck through, really made sure that, they get that win. And that interception in the final minutes of the game, that just sealed it up, And, it's nice to see, them going to the semi-finals against New Zealand, a team that they've beaten before, so it's not...
I was going to say, thank goodness we've had these pre-World Cup shock results.
Exactly.
Can they beat this New Zealand, though? A wounded beast New Zealand that came out there and absolutely dominated in their battle. They were just absolutely brilliant. I'm terrified of this All Blacks team now.
There was something else. They were brutal, they were clinical, they were dominant. I think those are some of the words that sum it up. And I heard someone saying that this is the best performance they've seen New Zealand play in the World Cup cycle in the past 4 years, which is something that can be true, because if you remember in the 3-match test series against Ireland, they won the first test, they lost the second, and then lost the third test. But this time around, they just looked different.
It's a bold,
They were confident. They were, they were clinical. Richie Mawunga was even bleeding at the end of the game. That's how serious this game was for them. And it was nice to see them play like that. And Ireland, the quarterfinal curse continues, I guess.
Oh, heartbreaking for this Irish team, and you can see what it meant to those players on their faces, because if there was a time, this was their time.
This was the time.
But kudos for the All Blacks for just stepping up. Absolutely beautiful against the #1 team in the world. It looked more like a fight, a full combat kind of incredible physical tussle than rugby. England, Fiji, we've seen Fiji beat England before building up to this World Cup, and they earned that victory, and it looked like they were going to earn another one. How much pressure and... humans, I feel quite emotional thinking about this Fiji side, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But how much was going on in that match? Because it felt so much bigger than rugby, dude.
A lot of Fiji matches in this World Cup, I think, have felt more than just rugby. I think they've managed to win the hearts of many people around the world. And, coming into that game, I was, pro-Fiji, saying Fiji must go. They've done it before, they can do it again. But I think England, they came into the World Cup and no one gave them a chance. Everyone was, rooting them out. Everyone was saying England are not even going to make it to the semi-finals. And I think England have played the smartest rugby in this World Cup.
Yeah.
I think they've played the smartest, most clinical rugby. I think they've, understood the importance of scoreboard pressure, the importance of building up points. And
territory,
we saw that against Japan in their first game when George Ford was slotting over, the drop kicks. And, that's been very important for them. Obviously, gaining that confidence with Owen Farrell coming back into the team. So they've played the smartest rugby, and now they face the Boks next week in a repeat of 2019's final.
The final, and hopefully it'll be a repeat of 2019's final, man. That being said, they don't have those big ball carriers that I can see. They've got some amazing players, but Maro hasn't put his hand up as yet. Courtney hasn't really put his hand up as yet. I struggle to see how they're going to beat the Bok team that won ugly last night. It's one thing winning beautifully. It's one thing winning with the best team on the field with all the right choices happening. Mistakes, I mean, there were about 5 or 6 terrible mistakes on the trot from some of our best players. looked like all of the replacements were big mistakes and wrong, and then one by one, all of those replacements put their hand up and did something special. Winning ugly is sometimes what you need to do. If we go back to 1995, where you probably weren't even born yet, but
I wasn't.
Yeah, we had a similar experience there. Do we believe in the Springbok side now more than ever?
There's a sense of belief. I like to believe. I think personally, when I was watching the game yesterday, before the game kicked off, I was like, I feel my heart says the Boks will win, but my head says France will just, edge them out. But as the game went on, I started believing, there was a sense of belief that they could go all the way and win the quarterfinal. And when that final whistle hit and I saw the faces of those players, I was like, this team could go all the way.
Yeah.
It looks like they can go all the way. I just hope they haven't played their final.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not a case of if they've played their final, but then again, the job's not done.
Yeah, look, sometimes a tournament is won in the quarters or the semis. We've seen that before, but I'm not going to add anything more to that sentence. Of course, there were some individuals who really did have to put their hand up. Abu, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I think Eben Etzebeth, for me, was out-and-out man of the match there, just this human spirit. But one player in particular saved us that game, and his name was Cheslin Colby, and we're going to get into a bit of a breakdown of his beautiful path to where he is right now. But a game day, of course, is not complete without game day snacks and essential Briar items, or maybe a little bit of caffeine if the games are going to be as late as they were last night. So head over to a Total Energy service station right now to top up on fuel, Briar charcoal, firelighters, snacks and drinks for the big game or any day. And you can earn club points that can be redeemed for cashback, helping you save on those future purposes.
Just like in rugby, it's uniting our energies that helps us move forward.
Oh, man, I'm still buzzing. I'm still running this whole thing through my head. Jesse Creel coming through with that low little grubber, perfectly grabbed by Cheslin Colby. Try time, baby, booyah!
Buddy, Cheslin Colby's charge down of the conversion kick. That is what won us that game yesterday. Incredible.
Oh,
So we
the
thought...
2 points, yeah.
That's made, man, that made the match, man, because he knows, and he is that guy. So we thought we had to do a little dive into the sizzling journey of one of those future greats, a living legend, Cheslin Colby, the rugby dynamo who soared from humble beginnings in youth rugby to absolute international stardom right now with electrifying speed, jaw-dropping versatility, a step, the power. That rugby IQ Colby story is a blaze of triumph and a testament to rugby's fiery spirit.
Oh, man, it truly is. So let us start at the beginning. Now, Cheslin Colby, born on October 28th, 1993, still a young lad, embarked on his rugby journey early, representing Western Province at various youth levels, and his progression began with the Under-16 Grant Coma Week, and that was in 2009, which eventually culminated in 2012 under 21 provincial championships. Oh, what
that guy's face there looked like the scout that first saw Cheslin. What? Is that even possible? Can they do that? But he's so small. Whatever.
Yeah.
Of course, he has shone in his club career, and I think that's what's given him the difference, certainly during this World Cup. He made his mark in the world of professional rugby by starting his provincial career, of course, with Western Province. Then he debuted in their Vodacom Cup match against the Boland Cavaliers and quickly caught the eye. Again, not long after, he found himself on the bench for the Stormers during a Super Rugby game up against the Sharks, and the rest is history.
Yeah, international actually at that, because Colby's journey took on an international turn, and that was when he made the move to France, joining the top 14 side Toulouse for the 2017-2018 season. Now, this transition marked a significant step in his career and was a testament to his skill and versatility, much of what we saw last night.
Yeah, it's unlocked something there, especially for him. But where he really does shine is in the green and gold. Cheslin Colby's first test, his debut for our South African national team, came in 2018. It's not that long ago, during the Rugby Championship against Australia, back when they used to play international rugby. And his remarkable journey, sorry, that was rude. His remarkable journey from youth rugby to the international stage highlighted his exceptional abilities and potential. And of course, we know the role he played in 2019.
Yeah.
We knew that we needed individuals to stand up, but there are few sportsmen, and maybe this is something you could speak to, brother, that have that team mentality, but still within that, the ability to put their hand up when you need them.
Yeah, understanding your role and how important your role is for the bigger purpose is making someone like Cheslin Colby want to execute his role above and beyond.
Now it's like his responsibility to
Yeah,
score
like
tries.
he understands that this is what I'm here to do, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability and for everybody else backing me behind me. And you see it in the way he plays. Every electric step, even those aerial balls where he's trying to cover those big kicks. I mean, the guy's constantly working, putting that dynamite body of his that's small in comparison to a lot of the other players.
I'd love to know the power to weight ratio, though, must be on.
Oh, I think you could take someone like Oxen Cheon, honestly, if you take power to ratio into account, because he's got it all when it comes to power. Honestly, and I think that's what he's embodying. Last night was a testament to, I think, what a lot of us as South Africans have the ability to do, especially when we work together.
Yeah.
Man, it was insane.
I think that the craziest thing through that whole match must have been for poor Sia having to sit on the sidelines and watch all this unfold.
I don't think he felt like it. He was like...
And when that last call, and there was one or two bad calls by the ref going both ways, which is fair game. It does happen.
That pass, bro. I don't want to talk about that even.
Offsides. Come on, just get it off my chest. Offsides. Okay. It's okay. But ultimately, he embodies, I think, what the Springbok team embodies 100%. At the moment, and that is an indomitable spirit. You can't crush us, and we're not done yet.
Oh, we're lovely, Cheslin.
Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast show, media personality Thibaut Touch has some exciting news to share, and we want to see if we can change food legislation on World Food Day, so stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast show.
Welcome back, and thank you for rejoining what is going to be a beautiful conversation, because this one really does matter. More than 23 million people in South Africa, in our country, face food insecurity right now. And I would imagine that maybe is an underestimation. Yet the truth is South Africa has more than enough food to feed all people. Our skew is ridiculous. We have one of the highest incidences of child malnutrition in the world, currently at 27.5%. A quarter of our children are starving, while more than 10 million tons of good food is lost or wasted across our food system every single year. Just let that sink in.
Those are some scary statistics. Well, we have Andy Du Plessis, Managing Director of food relief organization Food Forward South Africa, joining us to discuss their efforts to change our current food donation regulations in Parliament. Andy, it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much for having us.
Listening to those statistics, in my mind, I'm like, it's a simple solution.
Yeah.
We have the food, let's get it to the people. But it's not that simple.
No, unfortunately, it is not that simple. I wish it were. Today is World Food Day, and on this day, we realize, as Graham said, 23 million people. That number is much higher now.
Yeah.
That 23 million was a Stats SA statistic for 2021.
Sure.
Their Food Insecurity Experience Scale Survey. So we think that number is closer to 30 million people today. And when you think about the economic loss and the consequences from that 30 million people that are food insecure, that are unemployed, that are suffering from this cost of living crisis, when we have enough food in our country to feed everyone, it is just criminal because we produce more than enough food in South Africa to feed all our people. We export huge amounts where we get billions in revenue, and yet our own people, and sometimes in areas where our farms are growing the food for export, those people
Next door to those farms.
are starving, absolutely.
So let's just put it in perspective, because pre-COVID here, 20 babies were dying every day of malnutrition. So it's not just a hungry child here. We're talking extreme.
Yeah.
When we talk about legislation, what's standing in the way? This surely is just a logistics question. But I've seen the logistics. We've seen what the likes of you and the gift of the givers can pull off when there is least resistance. What's standing in your way from a legislative perspective right now?
Yeah, so in South Africa, we don't even have legislation that governs or that provides a framework for food donations in South Africa. All we have to refer to is the Foodstuffs, Cosmetics and Disinfectants Act, which is governed by the Health Department, and then the Consumer Protection Act, which is governed by the Department of Trade and Industry. And both those laws, none of them talk to food donations. So the problem is that the CPA, for example, talks about strict liability. In other words, if a farmer or manufacturer wants to donate food to Food Forward SA, and we onward donate that to another beneficiary organizations, in spite of how many times that food has changed hands and ownership, the original owner or the donator can still be held liable.
You just need one bad peanut and the situation falls down.
Exactly.
Can I just add to that? Sorry, Zoe. This feels like the biggest... So we've got companies with massive CSI budgets investing huge amounts of money that get them BEE scorecard points, that get them tax breaks, that have absolutely nothing to do with the need that is actually out there. How close to a shift in that legislation are we? Surely it's not just a nice to have. If you're going to pay a tax, that's the kind of tax we should be paying.
Exactly. No, it's an absolutely urgent need across South Africa. Right now, there are about 24 countries across the world that are considering food donations. The European Union, all the countries in the European Union have just passed legislation to clamp down on good food that is ending up in waste and dumped in landfill. And they're saying, no, it has to be redirected to non-profit organizations. So a year ago, in October, we actually launched a petition for food donation regulation changes. Thankfully, this year, NEDLAC invited us at the beginning of this year to their food insecurity rapid response team to invite and present our legislation and talk through what needs to change. We said we need to bring the Department of Health to the table and the Department of Trade and Industry. 3 months later, they did that. We've had conversations with the Department of Health, and they've said they will reconsider. Right now, we have to make submissions for the front of pack labeling guidelines, and they've undertaken and made the commitment that they will in there reference food donations as very important to be donated after its best before date, which is very crucial.
I love that.
What can we as the South African public do on World Food Day to help organizations like Food Forward South Africa?
So absolutely, there are quite a few things you can do. First, at the homes, we have we have waste of about 18%. So households and consumers can do better at reducing the amount of food they purchase. They must go support local markets rather than going far away to buy their food, and check your fridges regularly and make sure you donate stuff before it goes off. But what we need to do is also, right now, as food insecurity is rampant across South Africa, non-profit organizations need to be supported, because even as the National Planning Commission have said, the government cannot be trusted to implement the National Development Plan. And so non-profit organizations are driving this food security mission, and we need the support.
Completely, and you've hit the nail on the head there. We talk about trust being one of the biggest issues we've had. Well, you were talking about organizations that have had a trusted relationship with their communities. They know Lillian. They know, and Marlilia knows them. They know Andy by name. There is trust there. For 20 years, 30 years, we have been helping each other in those spaces. It's time now for the bigger companies and every household to step up. As it stands at the moment, a quarter of our children are starving. Think about that.
Thank you so much for this conversation. So pertinent. For now, though, it's almost gone. Well, it's 1 minute past the hour, so official duties must commence. And let's start off with national headlines. Now, Deputy President Paul Mashatile says it's important for the government and the automotive sector to strengthen their partnership to grow the economy and create jobs. And he was speaking on the final day of the Automotive Week at Midrand's Gallagher Convention Centre in Gauteng. Now, the automotive sector in SA's largest manufacturing sector, and it's contributing 5% to GDP and employing some 460,000 skilled workers. Now, Mashatile said the auto industry would change more in the next 10 years than it had in the last 100. Well, sticking to national headlines, Police Minister Becky Cele has called on law enforcement to step up their efforts to eliminate criminality during the coming festive season. Now, the minister said South Africans and all the country's visitors have a right to enjoy life and have a right to enjoy the festive season. Now, Cele also called on law enforcement to ensure that these people were safe wherever they were. And he added with a quote saying, "Give criminals a run for their money. Make sure that they are hit hard," unquote. Well, from our national headlines, let's head over to international news. And more than 1 million people have been displaced in the Gaza Strip in the last week. Now, this being said by the UN yesterday. Now, this after sustained Israeli bombardments. And meanwhile, Israeli troops continue to mass near Gaza ahead of the expected ground offensive. Now, Israel has warned some 1.1 million Palestinians living in North Gaza to evacuate south, whilst thousands have been fleeing by vehicle or on foot. Now, the World Health Organization earlier called on Israel to allow the immediate delivery of medicine to hospitals, warning that many lives are at risk. Well, carrying on with international headlines, the incumbent Liberian president and candidate of the Coalition for Democratic Change, George Weah, and former Vice President Joseph Boakai, the candidate of the Unity Party, are in a close race as results of Tuesday's elections continue to trickle in. Our results so far show that Weah has polled 44.58% of the votes and Boakai 43.1%. Now, to be announced the winner, a candidate must have over 50% of the total votes cast. And in the event that neither candidate secures the required percentage, the top two will go to a runoff. Well, lastly in our headlines this morning, something to be very celebratory about. The NSRI this weekend rescued a bottlenose dolphin found beached in shallow surf in Sardinia Bay, Oberga. Now, this during a complex research operation in rough seas. Now, this was a rescue which took place, and after being alerted about the dolphin, the NSRI responded and joined Bayworld staff at the scene. Now, the dolphin was transported to the NSRI Oberga rescue station in the care of marine scientists and NSRI rescuers. Now, it was found to have superficial and some minor injuries, suggesting that it may have had a scuffle with a shark, and was transported 5 nautical miles offshore and released in Algoa Bay. Now, Bayworld marine scientists are optimistic that the dolphin, which took to the water strongly, will only again roam the deep blue, free and healthy. Oh, I definitely look forward to maybe one day embracing that beautiful dolphin as I dive into the ocean. But for now, though, let's dive into the rest of the headlines. And here's G-Man with the latest when it comes to sport.
High-stakes sport this weekend. Wow, let's start with the rugby, and in a very high-stakes Parisian face-off, the Springboks pulled off what must be a remarkable victory, edging past France, the hosts 29-28 in a pulsating Rugby World Cup quarter-final clash. So the win by our boys sets the stage for an epic semi-final showdown and a repeat of last World Cup's final against England, who overcame a gutsy Fijian side, and that'll happen next week. So at the end of this week, amidst overwhelming expectations and the boisterous home home crowd, the Springboks showcased their indomitable spirit and prowess, proving that they can surmount formidable challenges, and this is the team to take it all the way. Then in the other semi-final, the All Blacks did pretty much the same. Now they're going to be clashing up against the Rugby Championship foes Argentina on Friday evening. That was after they dispatched the #1 team in the world, Ireland, with a breathtaking performance over the weekend. Now let's go to the shorter format of the game, and the Springbok women's sevens team had one goal in mind: to win the Rugby Africa Women's Sevens Olympic qualifier, and in so doing secure their place at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Well, their determination paid off in Tunisia. Head coach Renfred Dazel, he expressed immense gratitude after their hard-fought victory. Then in that final, they bested Kenya 12-7. It was a tight one, following a convincing 31 win over Zambia in the semis. South Africa faced formidable challenges, and the individuals stood up. Nadine Roos scoring the opening try to mark her incredible path in rugby. And despite Kenya's strong defence, our ladies did persevere and booked their spot in Paris. Now let's turn to cricket, and the Proteas women made a great comeback, sealing an 11-run victory in their 5th T20 international against New Zealand in Benoni to now level the series at 1 win each. So they posted a competitive 155 for 5 with some standout performances with the bat and ball. Tasman Brits 45, Sinead Lewis 36 not out. Then Nadine de Klerk weighed in with 3 wickets, and then Masabata Klaas also got 3 scalps herself, playing pivotal roles in limiting New Zealand to 144 for 8 in the end. Despite losing the toss, Laura Wolfart and Brits did set a solid foundation in that partnership between Brits and Annika Bosch, reaching 60 runs there to see them over the line. Now, speaking of seeing yourself over the line, congratulations to all those who took part and conquered their version of the Cape Town Marathon. But let's look at the top tier, and in an exhilarating showdown at this year's Cape Town Marathon, Ethiopia's Adane Kabere Gebre narrowly clinched the men's title, and I mean narrowly, defeating local favourite Stephen Mokoka. So thousands of participants and fans gathered for the 42.2-kilometre race, the second stage of its 3-year Abbott World Marathon Majors. So we wanted this one to go down their candidacy. They're so close now. And Gebre and Mokoka engaged in a thrilling final 50-metre sprint, with Gebre crossing the line in 2 hours, 11 minutes and 26 seconds. Mokoka, that 3-time Cape Town Marathon champion, having to settle for runner-up in a time of 2 hours, 11:30. Then in the women's race, it was an all-Ethiopian dominance on the podium. Tsige Haile Selassie Abreha securing victory in a time of 2 hours, 24 minutes and 15, followed by Melasech Tsegaya Bayene, and then third was Sebarge Aline Amare, all for Ethiopia, obviously. So a dominant performance, but once again, well done to everyone who got out there and conquered their version of the Cape Town Marathon. No matter what your time was, well done.
Thank you, Graham. Well, let's take a look at your traffic, starting off in Centurion, Johannesburg. There's a truck broken down on the N1 southbound before Brakfontein Road. The left lane's affected. Drive carefully. And in Klipkeuwel, Cape Town, there are roadworks on the N1 outbound. All lanes are open, no delays. And in East London, the roads are very wet as it is raining heavily. Please remember to switch on your headlights, be patient on the roads, and slow down. Well, that's your traffic. Let's take another look at your weather. And we have some environmental news for you this morning, is that the Eastern Cape MEC for Finance and Economic Development, Mlugisi Mvoko, says the Eastern, in fact, Northern and Western Cape provinces will join together today to sign a collaborative memorandum of understanding on green hydrogen to build links and synergies among the provinces. Mvoko says the 3 provinces have excellent potential to emerge into green hydrogen production hubs for the international trade and local economic growth. He also said South Africa and Japan had entered a new agreement that would see Japan helping South Africa decarbonize the domestic economy. Mvoko was speaking at the Green Hydrogen Summit media briefing in Cape Town yesterday. Well, on that note, let's take a look at your temperatures for your Monday. Well, that's what you can expect in your temperatures for today. Let's turn our attention to your sunrise views. And does it encapsulate the nature, in fact, the beauty of nature? Does it put a spring in your step? Well, you stand a chance to win $100 by sharing your sunrise view with us this morning. And the best photo will be shown live on air. And remember to please include a short story, perhaps a weather report. You can even do that in a voice note to our WhatsApp line, 063 408-8863. And our winner for this hour is Sharon from Pietermaritzburg, and this is her gorgeous sunrise view, and this is what Sharon said. What a beautiful sunrise as I'm on my way to work this morning feeling happy. Oh, I love it when people start a new week off with a grateful heart. Sharon, thank you for sharing that beautiful photo. And if you have a sunrise view, share it with us on WhatsApp.
Oh, yes, and a reminder for you to not go anywhere. Mzansi, a lot to look forward to on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Thibaut Touch has some interesting news to share with us. And then, listen to this, the entertainment news is coming through, and apparently Somizi is going back to school. Interesting stuff. Well, we'll find out more about this on your Feel Good Breakfast show in just a bit, just around the corner after this.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, yes, get hyped, get excited, get interested, because we are coming at you with news of a different kind. It's entertainment news. Yes, the world of entertainment news, and it's time to catch up on our favorite celebs from this past weekend. A lot has gone down.
Definitely. Well, just to bring you an update from Hollywood star Bruce Willis, some who may have not known this, but the actor Bruce Willis retired last year due to a medical condition which negatively impacted his speech and his comprehension. And Willis was then diagnosed with dementia earlier this year, and it was recently reported that he now has some difficulty communicating. A close friend of the actor, Glenn Gordon Caron, also the creator of the hit detective show Moonlighting, which put Bruce Willis' career in the spotlight, recently said that he tries to visit his friend at least once a month, and he is still bruised despite his condition declining to the point where he is no longer fully able to communicate verbally.
Wow.
So his health is taking a backseat quite quickly.
Yeah, and it's awful to think about the fact that this is what this man does. He's an actor, he communicates, he shares incredible, inspirational pieces of content that really get us moving. So all of our hearts are going out to him right now, and hopefully that this situation does get a little bit better. Well, there's someone to definitely praise right now that's doing so much better every year on year, the award-winning producer and DJ Black Coffee. Yes, this man's commissioned South African artist Wanda Bukle to paint 3 of the women who have impacted his life. I think this is so beautiful, and the painting is titled The Pyramids, and it's to further honor these wonderful 3 pillars in his life. The producer and DJ collaborated with a very talented United States fashion designer, Mike Amiri, who gave the painting new life by hand beading and embroidering it on the shirt, and completed his final look. I mean, just to step it up one bar. And at the same time, I love the fact that they're using pyramids as sort of sentiment for this, like actual colossal sort of monuments that stand the test of time. That is an absolute honor if ever there was one. Great testament indeed.
Oh, see, this is the type of entertainment news that I like.
Yeah.
So interesting. And then we have this entertainment news. Jada Pinkett Smith, during a recent interview with People magazine, she actually revealed that her and husband, Will Smith, have been separated for at least 7 years. Now, although Jada and Will have shared details of their non-traditional outlook on their marriage on several occasions, she also added that they love each other deeply and that they are going to figure out what that looks like for them.
My
so
word. All
when
the
she had an
scandal,
entanglement with August, they were technically separated. That Oscar slap, a lot of people are questioning, was it really worth it?
Hey, I'm feeling a bit played here, guys. I don't know what you, Mzansi. Let us know what you think right now, but hey, come on. You had me there. I was really feeling for this relationship. Always had them on the pedestal, but now it feels like they're just playing games. I don't know what you think, Mzansi. Let us know on our socials, but we carry on with the entertainment news right now. I don't know what you think about that, so that's just like, come on, guys. Let's be real. Come on. Listen, anyway, it doesn't stop there, because this one I think is definitely going to be an inspirational story. Let's say that, right? Media personality, Somizi, Somgaga. Yes, he's the one who is actually a grade 9 dropout, believe it or not. He's taken the decision to go back to school to complete his education. Now, Somizi had shared previously that he dropped out of school because he believed school would prevent him from chasing his dreams. Now, he's recently signed up for a fashion design course and told Sunday World that it's never too late to go back to school. Now, he continued by saying that he had always believed in the value of education, even though he never finished school, but that didn't stop him from educating himself about anything and everything that is a part of his professional life. Now, he closed off by saying that he is ready and content with who he is in his life, and that it's always about timing at the end of the day. So hopefully this is perfect timing for him, but I think definitely a great story to inspire everybody out there. You should definitely get educated, have the options, empower yourself, and hope you enjoyed the news.
Yes, well, listen, I love what our local stars are doing. Black Coffee as well as Somizi. That is absolutely incredible. Well, that was your entertainment news for this morning. Of course, we did unpack quite a bit, so perhaps there's something you would love to share with us. You're always welcome to head on over to our social media.
Oh, it just looks like we are still simmering on the news, I think. We are not ready to move from here just yet. But I was just wanting to think again, like, the fact for me that our local talent is really still pushing the pedestal, taking over what I think used to be the traditional Western news. We're highlighting beauty from our continent, and I think that for me is what really stands out in the news this morning. So something I think for a lot of South Africans right now, let's take it from our sport, let's take it from our entertainment. There's a power, there's ability inside of all of us that's waiting to come out. So maybe a reminder to you sitting there on the couch right now listening to this is, what's your next move gonna be?
Well, I want to know what the next move is going to be for this particular gentleman, because he's made some big moves in his career. Thabo Molefe, more commonly known as Thibo Touch, is an icon in the media industry, and more specifically in the radio space. He has set the tone for an entire generation, I think. And of course, with his return to Metro FM this year, he continues to make waves, even internationally. And this morning, he joins us via video call to let us in on what he's been up to lately. Still dominating the space. My brother, so good to connect with you again. So good to see this much energy this early, Brew. You're going to have to give you a breakfast show, buddy. We love the fact that you are back on the airwaves, dominating. What's it been like to be back with your Metro FM family, my brother? Oh, I'm going to ask you to unmute. I think you've muted yourself, buddy, for the first time in your career. Maybe you've been muted.
Apologies for that.
There we go.
I'm just grateful to be on the biggest morning show. Thank you for hosting me. It's an honor to be on Expresso. SABC3, shout out to the whole team. 20 years of radio. There's got to be something that defines your level of consistency to be back after 6 years and still reach the level of success we've managed to attain now. Having a look at the past 2 months, we went on a Metro FM summit. They took all the radio DJs and showed us our performances, and the brand Tivo Touch of the top 15 SA radio brands, top #1. So it's an honor. 6 years after being silent, you can come back and it's a disaster. But to be back 6 years and still top the charts, you know, it says this guy's a bit consistent with what he does.
100%. And I love the fact that when you talk about Tivo Touch, you talk about we, because you're a collective. You represent a big team that does amazing things, and they get you in front as their true north, which is amazing. You seem to have this thing about you, never mind seeing challenges. It's almost like that's what you go towards. As soon as someone puts a glass ceiling above you, you just smash right through it and change the baseline for other South African artists. I don't think you realize how much of a shift what you do filters down through to other artists, which we love. You were in New York recently, an amazing trip to the US. What was that all about, my brother?
First, I just came back this Saturday, traveled with my family. We went there to witness a very monumental experience where my high school, Bishop Grimes High, a Catholic school, top 50 in the whole of America, went to the school in the late 90s. I didn't know they've been observing my journey and watching the evolution of the Touch brand. They called me up, I met with the board, I met with the management of the school, and I had a visit to see the arts department, and I went to go meet some students, and they said, we actually want to name the Bishop Grimes Arts Center after Thabo Molefe. It was super emotional to have been recognized with such level of honor and to be bestowed the greatest award. It's something words can't explain till now. I'm still in awe of the experience. But it was one of those trips I've ever in my life going to the US, not knowing there's a prestigious building that's about to attach my name, a boy from Sharpeville, for the work and contribution I've done in the arts. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, man, and you must be proud, dude, because I know you don't do it for the validation. You've got the bigger picture in mind, the legacy, the empire, whatever this crazy, massive thing you're creating around you is. But it does help when you get a nod from your own industry. And I know you're about building the brand, but you've also, in the midst of that, got to be a phenomenal broadcaster, dude. Otherwise, it all falls flat. You've gotten multiple nominations once again, dude. We've got Best Afternoon Drive Show, Best Afternoon Drive Show presenter at the SA Radio Awards. 20 years in the game, does it still feel just as good to get these kind of nominations and these nods?
You know, the interesting thing is I've never defined what I do with who recognizes me. I think my contribution in life surpasses any institution or committee of people to wake up and say, we want to give you an award. I know the work I've done. I know the monumental change I've brought in radio. I know the lives I've touched. And if 2 people recognizes me, that's incredible. I'm honored. But for me, it's waking up and that one listener can say, you changed my life today. You did something on air that made me shift my thinking around how I view my life, and it's just been my life for 20 years where I've never been defined by who wants to recognize my work by giving me an award. They are great accolades to have to your name, but I don't wake up seeking recognition. I think greatness is always revealed. It's never recognized. So I'm 20 years in and it feels like one day.
Yeah.
I'm 20 years in and today I'm back after 2 weeks. It's like I've been gone for 2 years. And how great to go back with this vivacious energy of the box winning, the success of the brand touch, now living in American schools. All of this, it's exciting. We're going to have a hot show later on today.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, first stop, make sure you catch him on Metro later today. Buddy, looking at that fresh, beautiful young face, you've just gotten started, my brother. You've just gotten started. And the fact that you, beyond anyone else, hold your listeners as the most important part of this little machine, that's wonderful, brother. You're amazing at what you do. On behalf of all those that you have helped, touched, and all those that you inspire, thank you so much. For more of Tebow Touch, you can catch him on the social at Tebow Touch, and he really does connect there and has some great content, or you can tune into The Touchdown on Metro FM every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. This afternoon is going to be epic. Make sure you've tuned in.
Oh, it definitely is going to be epic. And hey, speaking of epic, we're going to be heading outside and taking advantage of the epic weather. We've got a grilled, I think it's a nectarine and halloumi sort of a dish that's coming through. I'm so excited for this. We're going to find out more after the break. And also after the break, get excited because the one and only Zigs Bantwini is going to be performing Asanda, taking us to new levels and getting us always more excited for this Feel Good Breakfast show. So don't go anywhere, Mzansi. We'll see you straight after this.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, we've had the most amazing, gees-filled morning. Now I am starving.
Oh, you are, yeah? Well, bring it on because I know Weber's in town. We're heading outside. Zoe's standing by, so bring on the deliciousness.
Please. And I would like this morning, Zoe, if you don't mind, it's a bit out there, a grilled nectarine and halloumi salad.
Ooh.
How are you going to do that on the braai?
That's for a combo. Nice. Check it out.
Oh, gentlemen, thank you so much. Listen, I escaped studio to come and join Chef Clem as he's about to whip up something delicious using our Weber. And of course, there are so many different options. But we are making a peaches and cheese salad. I need to stop myself from saying peaches and cream. That's a different song.
I thought you were going to sing.
We're not singing for this one, but I'll sing when you're done. How does that sound?
Sounds good. It sounds
Chef
good.
Clem?
So now's the time to be digging into fresh seasonal fruit and vegetables. I mean, summer is full of the best produce in the world, and that's nectarines today. It's going to feature on our menu. And we're using the Weber because what people don't understand is how much you can develop flavor on the braai with coals. So the nectarines, that's a good example of that. So
do you just put the nectarines on?
You can. You can even just take half the nectarine, remove the stone, and grill it in its half. That's easier to manage on the braai because it's one bigger piece to manage.
Then smaller little ones.
But the smaller little ones, the good thing about that is the smaller you get them, the more char you can get on them, which means more flavor.
Okay, so the charring is what brings out the flavor.
And we're going on quite, I'd say it's quite a high heat. And the way you can taste that is if you hold your hand about 30 centimeters away from the coals, okay?
Okay.
We've done this before, but it's nice to actually be with the braais. We can do it like actually
a
really well.
ruler.
Okay, so that's like a ruler. So if you can keep your hand there for about, let's say, 4 to 5 seconds without it being uncomfortable.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And
It's
you
on the
see,
cusp.
It's there.
It's on the cusp.
That's the temperature we want. If we were going to do steaks, like I'd say like 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
That's good.
That's steak. So we're going, that's the temperature. A 5-second hand hold. You got that. Okay, cool.
But a 30 centimeter gap.
That's it.
There we
don't
go.
put your hand on the coals. Please don't. Please don't.
Please don't.
Please
Be
don't.
responsible.
No. Then your mommy's going to send me a DM because I told
But
you
Chef
to
Clem,
go
we
and-
need to get stuff on the braai.
Guys, yes, we get to cook. What's also quite nice is if you use nectarines that are slightly like underripe, a
Okay.
little firmer. That way as well. Again, it's just firm. You get more control of it on the braai. A little bit of
What
oil
did you
goes
just
in.
brush on that?
A
Just
little
a-
bit of olive oil. Yeah, you
olive
don't need
oil.
much. And we're gonna get that down on the braai. You're not looking for. You don't want to overcook it because it will go mushy if you do overcook it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it about a minute aside.
Oh, I love that, Chef Clem. And you know what's amazing about the Weber range of charcoal barbecues? It offers something for everyone, from portable smokers to their versatile Kamado series to the original and time-tested kettle series. And then direct braaiing is really versatile, like we are doing now. High heat method is used to cook relatively small and thin pieces like our peaches. And then you can also do indirect braaiing, which is the right method for cooking thicker foods, low and slow.
You said that so well.
I have my tricks.
Okay,
I have
cool.
my tricks.
Halloumi. I
Love halloumi.
don't know what's going on. I've become obsessed with halloumi.
Halloumi?
Like on everything, with everything. And especially on the braai. And I feel like it's because it's such a good braai cheese. That's
And
what
it's so
African.
high in protein.
Yes, man. I mean, yes, sure. Like I like if it health benefits as well. I feel better about myself. So here we go. Give it another brush of olive oil, and then we're gonna get these down onto the braai as well. The thing about halloumi is you don't want to mess with it too much. Like when you put it down, treat it like a steak. and
Don't
let
turn it
just-
too many times.
Don't turn it too many times. But keep an eye on it though. It does brown very quickly. We've got some Parma ham, which has already been crisped up in the oven.
Okay.
To get it nice and crispy. Think of that as like our crouton.
A little crouton. We're adding some texture to our salad, like crispiness.
Crispiness to the side. I mean,
Oh, look at that beautiful char. That is gorgeous.
there we go. That's what you want. You don't want to overdo it. Just a little bit of that color is all you need.
Oh, amazing, Chef Clem.
And you can do this also before your guests arrive. Get the nectarines nice and charred. The halloumi that you want to do as close to serving as possible. But those nectarines, once you get the color on them, I think you're good. You can do that ahead of time.
I think those
So-
nectarines, do you think they are ready?
I always love seeing how people plate, okay?
Okay.
And it's different to what I have in my mind. So do you want to go for this one?
How about you instruct
Okay,
me?
cool.
Because I'm always looking for new ways to plate.
Let's go. I'm gonna grab these halloumi and pretend like it's done on all sides.
So naturally, you will leave this a little bit longer, get it on all 4 sides. We just did the 2.
Yeah, just
Dis
the
net
two.
waar jy in Afrikaans sal sê mooi blink onder stink.
Oh wow, okay,
Like it's beautiful from the front.
I learned
from the
something
top.
new today. Okay, cool. So nectarines go down on the beautiful halloumi, and as soon as that comes off, you also do want to give it a little bit of salt, very important, and then pepper as well. We're doing it very chefy today, okay?
Yes.
So then we're gonna go with a little bit of our
Greenery.
wild rocket greenery, just a little bit, like just to make it look fancy, but again, and also to make it a little healthier. And then we got some Parma ham, like I said, and that's gonna be our crunch. Make it stand at our height. There we go. The higher the dish, the closer to heaven. There we go. Parma ham.
Oh no, this is very chefy. Look at
There
you
we go,
being
there we
all
go. Oh,
fancy.
you know what? We're not even done. We've
Okay.
got one more thing, which is a beautiful balsamic drizzle.
Should I turn the halloumi for you?
Sure. There we go. It's always good to have a buddy at the braai, because that's why. And a little bit of a drizzle. Wow. Wow. I mean, okay. That looks really good.
That is looking good, Chef Clem.
Happiness. Happiness. Okay, cool. So this is what we've done. And I'm honestly saying, spend a little more time on plating. Your guests will appreciate it, and you're going to feel mighty chuffed, because, I mean, that looks like a restaurant dish.
It does look
Zoe
like a
Brown
restaurant
on
dish.
the braai.
Yes, I'm on the braai as well. It just shows you how easy it is. Even the girls can braai.
Of course. So,
There we go.
I mean, if I was a guest at someone's house and they presented a starter looking like this, I'm not leaving your house. Not leaving your house, I'm moving in.
You're moving in?
Yes.
Chef
Zoe,
Clem,
that-
our halloumi is really halloumi.
That's how I like my halloumi.
Me too. It needs to be soft and ooey.
And with a nice crust on
And
it.
a little chewy.
There we go. Ooey and a little chewy.
Oh, this halloumi is beautiful. That is how I like my halloumi.
You know what the one benefit is of us being all the way over here in Brine? We
Yes.
don't have to share with everyone back in studio, even
Oh,
though sharing
true.
is caring.
Sharing is caring. They won't
Zoe
give
Brown
me
for the
oops,
win.
oyster.
And again,
Yes.
this is literally the piece that I would want, that's supercharged and crusty.
Okay, so
That's
you
the
like
one.
that.
That's the
I'm trying to
one.
hide that from camera. I'm trying to make it look extra nice.
There we go.
There we go. Chef Clem, this was an amazing recipe. I love being in the outdoors. So obviously you can go the chef route and plate it like Chef Clem. Did you add your nuts?
No,
Did
that's
you
for
add
you.
some
You
nuts?
can do a
So
sprinkle.
you can
with it.
finish it off with some beautiful, just extra texture. Or you can go the normal route, how I probably would have plated it. But yes, if you want to get your hands on this recipe, it is available for you on our website. That's expressoshow.com.
Oh yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and let's step the bar up right now. Royalty back in the house. Joining us on the Expresso stage this morning, we got CHKs Journey in the house. Yeah. Oh, this man is representing South Africa all over the world. He's a Grammy Award-winning superstar, musician, record producer, and a very successful businessman who healed us after COVID-19 with Osama alongside Kosango and had us hyped the year of 2021, and it's not stopping there. So that definitely deserves another Feel Good. Welcome. Give it up for CHKs. Brother,
Yes.
you've been doing the things, representing South Africa, and we are absolutely behind you, and proud is an understatement.
Yes.
And you're creating history, man. The Delicious Festival, headlining. What was
Yes.
that experience like for you, bro?
I mean, it was the first time a South African act headlines DSTV Delicious
Yeah.
because they were celebrating a decade. So it was such an amazing moment for me that I was on that stage closing the first day of Delicious. It was like a milestone. So I had fun. I had a 30 choir member. And then I had a 7-piece band, so there were like 39 people on stage because I also had Busi as a guest, a surprise guest, and I had Sky Wonder. So it was such a,
That's insane. What a beautiful collaboration of sounds, and at the helm of it all is our man, dude. I feel like if I was you, I'd just pinch myself wherever I go, but this is starting to feel like the norm. And on top of this, dude, we've got a huge event coming up, 28th of October, I
28th of
believe.
October, yeah.
Talk to me about this, bro.
I think it's another one also. We've never had a South African act doing a show at a DHL Stadium. You know, all the shows that have happened at DHL Stadium, it's always been international acts. And this time around, we only have South African acts doing a show. I mean, I've got Goldfish, I've got Jeremy Loops, Mikasa, Youngster, CPT, Musa Keys, Major League DJs, you know, it's like a serious just South African artists, and we wanna really, you know, change the history, and we wanna bring everybody together. You know, Abantu really is a show that is not a black or colored or Indian or white show. It is a South African show because we can only transform this country if we know how to work together. And by working together, we need to like each other. When we have to like each other, we have to dance together. So we've got to socialize so that we like each other, and then we change the world.
Hey, man, if you go into politics, I'm voting for you, brother. Bringing the people together, and that's exactly it. It's like you've assembled the greatest team of South Africa to represent South Africa, and literally, I think this is what is resonating with the rest of the world right now. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for not stopping in this crazy time that we're living in. You're serving us. So, Mzansi, right now, this is CHKs Journey performing an all-time favorite track, Asanda. Brother, the stage is yours. Take it away.
Okay.
Ufuna ukubona imoto ebengihamba ngayizolo phela mina ngivele ngamqambela amanga ngoba ngifuna ukuhamba naye uwasana Skibeli engabe bengenzani manje imoto ngizoyithatha uthaka igibeli Uber uthaka sigibeli scooter engabe bengenzani manje imoto ngizoyithatha ufuna ukubona imoto ebengihamba ngayizolo phela mina ngivele ngamqambela amanga ngoba ngifuna ukuhamba naye uhasana ufuna ukubona imoto ebengihamba ngayizolo phela mina ngivele ngamqambela amanga ngoba ngifuna ukuhamba naye uhasana.
Oh, yeah. Bowing down. That's how you do it. Mzansi, stay tuned right here at your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We got more of this feel good music coming at you.
Not that we were surprised by it, but what a performance from Zakes. We love this kid. Thank you so much. I'm sure we are all incredibly excited now to hear his new album, and it is absolute platinum. I don't want to say gold. He is, of course, also the local artist headlining at the Cape Town Stadium for his Abantu Music Festival on the 28th of October, just a couple of weeks to go. In the meantime, you can catch him on the Insider SA. Let's go behind the scenes where he tells us more about the making of this incredible album and asks you to help him decide what to call it. I love it. Be a part of his journey. Watch the Insider SA tonight at 6 p.m. only on S3, with, of course, that repeat going out Saturday at 1. But let's hear it from the man himself.
I cannot wait for that. It's going to be a proper exclusive. And also something I can't wait for is the rest of your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Right now, we're going to be talking about how to have peace of mind when it comes to your tech gadgets. And then South Africa, I know we're dealing with the bird flu right now. So let's find out where we're at in the situation. And maybe we can share some tips on what you can address to maybe alleviate the strain that this situation causes. So we got you. We're ready to serve all that and a whole lot more on your Feel Good Breakfast Show just after this.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Monday. We're still living on a high of the weekend and all things sport, but we're going to keep that high going right now. Why? Because the question is, what puts you in a macro mood? It's time to find out from Kuhle, all the way out in macro land, and she's got something good for us. Let's check it out.
A very good morning to you, bunch of winners. What a special way to start any day, okay? Do you know what mood has captured South Africans on a macro scale? Oh yes, it's the fact that we are all winners, namhlanje. It's a special one. We are diving into the world of brand refresh with Catherine Medley, who is the Vice President of Marketing, to talk about macro, shifting focus to a unique customer experience through their macro mood strategy. Joining us, Catherine, how good are you feeling this morning?
Very good. I'm in a Springbok mood and a macro mood this morning.
100%. I love it. Did you watch the game yesterday?
Yes.
How intense was it?
Nail biting. Thrilling.
Thrilling is the word, but at the end of the day, we came out reigning champions. I know we spoke a little bit before we came on the show, and you told me you watched up until halftime. Why?
I was waiting to watch my game advert, which was amazing, and then I got super excited because we know that we're going to make it to the semi-finals, and we're breaking the macro mood in the semi-finals, so our brand new macro advert will be there, but there's so much happening in-store, online, and throughout all of our channels now as we have launched our macro mood internally. It always starts with our associates internally.
I love that. Please take us back, Catherine, to what inspired this shift to, prioritize a unique customer experience for people both online and in-store.
Well, Macro has always been a very powerful ruler brand in South Africa. It's the biggest store. It's across the country. It's proudly up on the hill in a city near you. We have 22 huge stores, and we also have a very huge online store, which has been going for many, many years, and both are growing hugely. We have not invested in the brand for about 7 years, so it was long overdue to reframe the brand, to make it more of a digital-first brand. We are the biggest omni-channel retailer in South Africa, so we needed to do that. And a brand position is not about creating a new aesthetic in a brand. That's just a small, also that's about 5% of it. What it is, it's creating a new strategy for the whole business. So this has been done with our merchants, with our operators, online and in-store, with our supply chain, and bringing together a physical manifestation of our strategy in-store and online. So we're really excited to launch an experience of abundance to our customers and to our associates, which translates into a creative expression called Somebody's in a Macro Mood.
Ooh, I love that. We are definitely in a macro mood. What would you say are some of, the trends that have inspired this strategy?
Yes, so there's a lot of work that we've done, first of all, on food. The customer is more price sensitive than ever before. South Africa is the #1 most price sensitive country in the world. So we've gone, okay, we are here to help, we are here to make it go a lot further. So we're very proud that for 5 months in a row, we have won the most affordable basket in South Africa, 5 months in a row. So we are not a one-trick pony. We are here for the long term, and our food merchants have done an amazing job on that. So people are starting to appreciate that bulk buying is smart buying when it comes to food. And then, of course, we've always had the widest range in general merchandise. And we all know that when you walk into a macro or you go online, you're going to see something that you cannot see anywhere else. There's always something amazing, like a 22-man tent or a gallon of Tabasco sauce.
You think you're walking in for one item, next thing you're walking out with an entire trolley.
Exactly.
And we were also chatting, the last time I saw you was PMB.
Yes.
And you could just see all the red signs and so many things that you just want to go home with. That's what macro is all about, right? Now, what would you say, macro is doing to kind of stay ahead of the game, stay ahead of the trend?
So what we're doing in macro is quite a great deal of a lot of things, and it takes many small things to come together to create an experience of abundance. So our merchants are the first in the queue to buy things that create an abundant feeling for a customer in food, in liquor, and in general merchandise with the widest range and the best value for money. So that's the table stakes that we've brought. We also have a lot of product in our stores that you can't get anywhere else, including Springbok paraphernalia. So that is there as well. We've also got a new business-to-business online shop we also have always, since the beginning of Macro, looked after the wholesaler. So we look after a very large wholesaler that has an independent shop or a tuck shop or a caterer, you know, or a hostess, you know, or a person just like you and me that's looking for great value and a deal. We've got a fantastic clothing range as well, which is also creating abundance in our stores too. So there's many, many things coming together online, in our stores, and pickup. So the customer has got a variety of options to get that experience of abundance and to get that deal. And it's a macro mood.
It truly is a macro mood, Catherine. Thank you so much for joining us and putting us on a macro mood. What a beautiful way to start the day. Now, Expresso is giving our viewers a special opportunity to walk away with a 2,000 Rands voucher cash. All you have to do is enter via our competition posts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Let us know, what is your go-to product that instantly puts you in a macro mood? Not forget to use the hashtags macro mood in your answer. T's and C's do apply, and the competition closes on the 23rd of October. Catherine, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kuhle. Well, listen, it's time for us to now find out ways in how to enhance your own peace of mind. Now, when it comes to our phones, our household tech, and even appliances, these are essential parts of life, but are they often, in fact, they are often the most costly. So what happens when they break or they go missing? Well, with Vodacom Enhance, not only can you access the latest tech, but you can also now conveniently insure them from as little as 20 Rand per month on the same bill. Whoa. So for today, I've gathered the troops, and we're going to find out how we enhance our own peace of minds when it comes to our most prized possessions. So, gents, name your 3 tech gadgets that you view the most valuable to you.
Sure. Well, you've got a few new ones.
Yeah, I've got a few new ones. I was just telling G, I have like a new smart home setup, and it's really amazing. But I got to say the cell phone, use it so much for work. My laptop, obviously, that's just like a business on its own. And I still use my old school camera, the DSLR camera. There's a beauty about shooting on a full frame that I really just am not able to let go. So those 3 things I think I'll still prioritize amongst all the crazy tech we have these days. Yeah,
yeah, I know. I mean, there's tiers to it as well. Obviously, the cell phone, I do like 90% of my work.
Yeah, our life is on that.
Yeah, and then the laptop backs that up. But those 2, and my router, yo.
Oh, yo!
Whoa, that only came to me now, because I was thinking there must be 3. I can't only just rely on 2 pieces
Apologize to my router. I also love you.
Does an air fryer count? When that air fryer is smart, then I'm going to add it to the list. But yeah, and I would say that's probably where it sits.
Okay, so my next question, are these items insured for theft or accidental damage, maybe?
So I learned the hard way, unfortunately, and I lost one of these items, my camera, actually, initially. Oh, man, the pain that I experienced, the memories. There was a memory card on there as well. If you've gone through this, Mzansi, you'll know what I feel like. So I learned the hard way that I have to insure these things, because not only are they like items that I use, but it's like my livelihood almost wrapped up in that. So I learned the hard way, unfortunately, and now I do insure everything.
Yeah, no, you've got it. I've got just a big household, comprehensive household for when I can.
Smart, bro. Lovely.
The problem is it's you can replace it, but it's those 3-4 days of you trying to make a plan that you are losing time, you're losing money, you're losing an opportunity. And in our world, it's momentum, and that we talk about that flow state all the time.
You've got to stay in it.
Press stop for 4 or 5 days. So for me, that's where it makes the big difference.
Okay, well, my final question for you is, have you ever been in a situation where something has broken or gone missing and you haven't been insured? Raul, you
I've just answered that one.
Graham,
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. Graham, have you been in that position?
I have been with a phone many moons ago, and the downgrade was significant when I had to make a plan myself. That's the bottom line.
It always sucks when you have to like fork out this large amount in one go.
Grudge purchase.
But even so, like also sometimes like having certain insurances and having to fight to get that back, they're not always as comprehensive as you think. They don't always cover your items the way you think. So it's always important to get the right insurance as well. I think
if you can work directly with your provider, great.
Yeah.
Cut through the clutter.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Invest in your peace of mind by insuring your most valuable items. Now, with Vodacom, you can enhance your new or existing contract to access the latest smart tech and appliances, which includes everything from smartwatches to TVs, PlayStations, and even air fryers. Graham, that's just for you. And the best part is you can then conveniently insure them from as little as 20 Rand per month by just adding Vodacom insurance to your bill.
Wow.
So to check out all of the offers available, you can visit voda.com/enhance.
Zanzi, enhance what you love. Add more of what you need to your contract. Choose from a range of enhanced options in-store or online. Further together, Vodacom.
Absolutely beautiful stuff, and it's a little amount, okay, so make sure that you add that little amount. It's going to make a very big difference. Of course, everybody at the moment, whether you're making memes about it or you're literally crying because your business hinges on it, we're talking about eggs and our egg shortage right now. We're going to get into exactly what the bird flu means for us right at the moment.
See what you did there.
Hey, you like that?
Another question we also have on our topic is, can money buy us happiness?
Yes.
A huge question. Yes, no, maybe. I don't think so. We'll find
I
out
never
this.
said no.
Yes, definitely.
Do it like this. Do it like get it, move it, own it. Do it like this.
Bespoke.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show. We got a set revamp, but it's still the same show. It's 8 o'clock. Let's quickly catch up with those headlines.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Yes, it's just about to go on the hour. One last time, let's dive into our news headlines. And starting on national headlines. Now, 8 SA soldiers may have been involved in what the United Nations mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo described in internal reports as a systematic, widespread violation. Now, this of UN rules. Now, a UN spokesperson said it had received reports that after curfew hours, they were fraternizing at an out-of-bounds bar. Now, UN military police who went to the premise to assess the situation were physically assaulted as they moved to detain the soldiers. The soldiers implicated have been recalled to South Africa. Well, carrying on with national headlines, Deputy President Paul Mashatile says it's important for the government and the automotive sector to strengthen their partnership to grow the economy and create jobs. Now, he was speaking on the final day of the Automotive Week, which took place at Midrand's Gallagher Convention Center in Gauteng. Now, the automotive sector is SA's largest manufacturing sector, contributing 5% to GDP and employing some 460,000 skilled workers. Now, Mashatile said the auto industry would change more in the next 10 years than it had in the last 100. Well, from our national news headlines, let's head over to international news. Now, at least 30 people have drowned and 167 are missing after a boat capsized on the Congo River late on Friday in the northwest of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, 189 people have been rescued, but deadly boat accidents are frequent on Congo rivers, where vessels are frequently loaded well beyond their capacity. Now, the country has few tarred roads across its vast forested territory, and travel by river is popular. Now, the locally manufactured boat that capsized on Friday was overloaded, carrying more than 300 people, and it was sailing at night. Our thoughts definitely go out to all those affected right now, and especially when it comes to our next headline. Now, more than 1 million people have been displaced in the Gaza Strip in the last week, and this being said by the UN yesterday. Now, this after sustained Israeli bombardments, and meanwhile, Israeli troops continue to mass near Gaza ahead of an expected ground offensive. Now, Israel has warned some 1.1 million Palestinians living in North Gaza to evacuate south, while thousands have been fleeing by vehicle or on foot. Now, the World Health Organization earlier called on Israel to allow the immediate delivery of medicine to hospitals, warning that many lives are at risk. Well, lastly in our headlines, something to celebrate for both our country and the Western Cape. The mother city has once again scored big time at the World Travel Awards Africa. Now, that's with the following news. Released yesterday, Cape Town remains the continent's leading destiny and city destination, the third consecutive year that it has bagged this coveted accolade. Now, Cape Town was also voted Africa's leading city break destination, the leading seaside metropolitan destination, and Table Mountain was again named the continent's leading tourist attraction. On top of this, the Cape Town Cruise Terminal won the Best Cruise Terminal Award. Now, these awards are a testament to the mother city's rich diversity of assets that celebrate its people and products. And with that, all I can say is congratulations, Cape Town, and I hope you are making the most of your magic. For now, though, let's make the most of the rest of their headlines. Here's G-Man one last time with all the crazy action when it comes to all things sport.
Well, it seems we're all about those wins this morning. Let's start with the major high in rugby, and in a high-stakes Parisian face-off, the Springboks did it. They pulled off a truly remarkable victory and broke our nerves in the process. They edged past France 29-28 in a pulsating Rugby World Cup quarter-final clash. So the win by our boys now sets the stage for an epic semi-final showdown against England, a repeat of the previous World Cup's final. Of course, England overcoming a very gutsy Fijian side, and that means we will meet next week. Then amidst overwhelming expectations and, of course, a very boisterous home crowd that weren't holding back, the Boks showcased their indomitable spirit more than anything else and their rugby prowess, proving that they can surmount formidable challenges in those gutsy moments. And in the other semi-final, of course, we'll see the All Blacks, who beat the world #1 ranked Irish team. Over the weekend, they'll clash against their Rugby Championship foes Argentina, and that's on Friday evening. Now let's go to the shorter format of the game, and the Springbok Women's Sevens team had one goal in mind: to win the Rugby Africa Women's Sevens Olympic qualifier, and in so doing, of course, secure their place at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. So their determination paid off in Tunisia. Head coach Renfred Dazel, he expressed immense gratitude after their hard-fought victory. They left nothing out there. In that final, they beat Kenya 12-7 in a close one, following a very convincing 31-0 win over Zambia in the semis. South Africa, they faced some formidable challenges, but they set the tone early with Nadine Ruiz scoring that opening try. Oh, she is one to watch. She's going to be an international phenom, I think. And despite Kenya's strong defense, our ladies persevered, and in so doing, booked their spot to Paris. Now let's look at another ladies team that are doing so incredibly well this year. The Proteas women, they showed their mettle with a strong comeback, sealing an 11-run victory in the 5th T20 International against New Zealand in Benoni to now level the series at 1 apiece. So they posted a competitive 155 for 5 with some standout performances from Tasman Brits, 45 there, Sinead Lewis, 36 not out, and then also with the ball, Nadine de Klerk, 3 for 24, and Masabata Klaas weighing in with 3 scalps herself, playing pivotal roles in limiting New Zealand to 144 for 8. In our setting that foundation, despite losing the toss, Laura Wolfart and Brits set a solid foundation, and then that partnership between Brits and Annika Bosch reaching 60 runs down there, really laying down the anchor. And now, of course, I've got to say congratulations to all those who finished the Cape Town Marathon. Well done. But let's look at the top tier. In an exhilarating showdown to this year's Cape Town Marathon, Ethiopia's Adane Kebere Gebre narrowly clinched the men's title, and I mean narrowly, defeating local favourite Stephen Mokoka. So thousands of participants and probably even more fans gathered for the 42.2k race, the second stage of its 3-year Abbott World Marathon Majors candidacy, and that's a big one for the mother city. And we did put our hand up, but none more than Gebre and Makoko. They engaged in a thrilling final 50-meter sprint. That's after 42Ks, with Gebre crossing the finish line in 2 hours, 11 minutes and 26 seconds. Makoko, that 3-time champion of the marathon, he settled for runner-up in a time of 2 hours, 11:30. Just so close. And in the women's race, well, it was an all-Ethiopian dominance of the podium, with Tsige Haile Selassie Abreha securing victory in a time of 2 hours, 24 minutes and 15 seconds, followed by Melasesh Sagaya Bayene and then Shewarge Aline Amare rounding off that podium. But I've got to reiterate once again to all the weekend warriors, those who took it seriously, those who just had fun, well done. You've done it. Now on to the next goal. And that's, we believe, our sport for today. Let's take a look at the roads.
Thank you, Graham. Well, let's start off with traffic in Sherwood, KwaZulu-Natal. There's been an accident on the N2 southbound. It's before EB Klute interchange. The right lane is open. Expect delays. And if you're in Midrand, Johannesburg, there's congestion on the N3 northbound between Geldenhuys and Elands interchange. All lanes are open, but there are heavy delays. In Bellville, Cape Town, there's some congestion on the R300 northbound. It's at Van Riebeek Road, so expect some delays and add some additional travel time. That's your traffic. Let's take a final look at your weather. Uppington, enjoy your 30 degrees Celsius for your Monday. But let's take a final look at some of your sunrise views, and we want to know, does it encapsulate the beauty of nature? Does it put a spring in your step? Because you stand a chance to win 100 Rand by sending in a sunrise photo from this morning, and it can be shown live on air. Remember to also include a short story, perhaps a weather report. You can send us a voice note to our WhatsApp number. That number is 063 408 8863. And our winner for this hour is Brian from Bloberg. And this is what Brian had to say. It's another golden day in the mother city, full of new possibilities. Enjoy. Well, that is a stellar sunrise view. Congratulations, Brian. You are our winner for our 8 o'clock update. Well, if you have a sunrise view to share with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line.
So his wedding budget is getting smaller and smaller with all these 100 Rand notes that he's handing out. Zoe, but you're so generous. So you're so generous.
No, you really are. And a lot of people that I'm hoping are going to be generous are those that own chickens, because the bird flu is going crazy in South Africa right now. And not to make a joke out of it, but it really is serious. So we want to find out where we are in the situation, how it's affecting us, and what can we do about it. That's coming through right now, yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose it does beg the question, can money solve all our problems? Well, it certainly can make one a bit happier. Is it the root to all happiness? We'll ask our panel in just a moment. Can money buy you happiness? I think so, yes.
Yes.
We will decide amongst ourselves on the other side of this.
To the brave hearts who persevere against all odds, we salute you. Along with Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, we're inspiring hope across South Africa this Hopetober. Stand a chance to win 1,500 Rand cash every weekday by answering the weekly Hopetober competition question on Expresso's Facebook, Twitter or Instagram pages throughout the month of October using hashtag Hopetober and hashtag sponsors of Brave. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and let's dive into a pertinent conversation affecting many South Africans right now. We're going to be connecting with Isak Breitenbach, the General Manager of the South African Poultry Association, and that's to discuss the current state of SA's battle against bird flu and its far-reaching impacts and what lies ahead. Good morning, Isak. How are we doing? Are you there? Are you live? Yes, I see your beautiful face. Are you good?
Good morning, Raul.
Listen, let's dive straight into this conversation. A lot of South Africans are concerned. They're possibly being overwhelmed by this information. But apparently we've actually gone through 3 major bird flus in recent times. What's made this current bird flu situation that we're dealing with right now so impactful at the moment?
Well, we're dealing with a different virus, and that is really causing the trouble for us. If you looked at the outbreak in 2017, the one in 2021, we could contain those 2 outbreaks quite easily. What has happened this time around is that we had to cull an awful amount of birds. We've culled in excess of 7.5 million birds. And the virus is more contagious. It spreads more easily with the wind. And that just makes it overall difficult for us to contain the disease to a site and eradicate the disease.
Wow. So how exactly are egg producers coping with these challenges? I can imagine this is quite a difficult feat to deal with, right?
Very difficult to deal with. This is a notifiable disease. So what that means is that should that disease be identified on a farm or diagnosed on a farm, the farmers have to quarantine the birds. They need to dispose of the birds on site. And also the product that the birds produce, like the eggs, need to be disposed of on site. And therefore, the aim is to contain the disease. Very difficult for farmers, egg-laying farmers, broiler farmers, causing big losses for us.
Wow, I'm just thinking about this. These are literal assets that have been created. The cost have already gone into it, and they're just having to cull it or get rid of it. So that takes a massive impact financially and longevity-wise. And I'm thinking to myself, with this outbreak coupled with the fact that, I mean, in South Africa, we're already dealing with load shedding as well, this is going to cause quite a significant impact. How do you expect us to recover from this?
With difficulty. We started this year in a loss situation in January.
Wow.
And as you rightly mentioned, then we had the impact of load shedding that was really significant on our industry. Then came the highly pathogenic avian influenza, and the farmers don't only lose the birds that we cull, we also lose about 1 year's production that the birds should have given to us, that they're not giving to us. And therefore, this is obviously a complete loss to the farmer. And for us to recover from that will take probably between 6 and 18 months. We will have to replace the birds that we culled. And in some cases, the total flock of a farmer was wiped out. And he really has to start anew with absolutely nothing.
Oh, wow. My thoughts are literally going out to all these farmers right now that are so affected by this. You mentioned 6 to 18 months is the potential for us to recover from this. What happens in the meantime with regards to both the supply and also with regards to us as South Africans? Is there anything that we should be investing in or do differently now that this has come to light?
I think the one thing is that we shouldn't panic. We still have between 70 and 80% of all our birds on the floor. They still produce eggs, they still produce meat. So there's no need to panic. But we've already seen the shortage of eggs in the market shelves, and that's just the structure of the industry. If you cull a commercial layer bird today, it stops laying eggs tomorrow.
Oh, it looks like we may have just lost the sound on Isak right now. I can still see his visuals, but I do apologize, Mzansi, for that. It looks like we've just lost the audio in Isak. So, Isak, I'm going to apologize to you in advance there. It seems like we've slightly lost your audio, the connection there. But again, giving us vital insights already into the current situation. And if you are still out there, I want to say thank you for coming through and sharing this conversation with us. Really did get a chance to dive into most of what I think we wanted to discuss with South Africa right now. So, again, thank you for coming through, Mzansi. As you can see, we are faced with a bit of an issue, but Isak has definitely come through and reminded us to not panic. We still have 80% of our stock levels out there. So again, there's nothing to be too concerned about. It looks like our country are looking after us and do have this issue at bay. I'm not sure if Isak is still on the line or not, but if he is, I'll rather just say thank you to him right now. We might have a chance to chat to him later, but I mean, he definitely came through some great insights over there. So I think we can be optimistic about this. I think it is huge. And again, our hearts need to go out to all those farmers that were impacted by this. But I think at the same time, it's just great to know that there are things being done. We are being looked after and there are solutions to this. So it looks like we are not looking in such a bad light, Mzansi. You don't have to stress too much and things might carry on to be as excellent as they have been before. So again, Isak, thank you so much for that convo. But we carry on with some more pertinent chats right now.
Yeah, and please, I'm not oversimplifying now in light of the gravity of what we've just spoken about. I know it can get very real in this space, but we are going to have a little bit of fun right now. And this morning we are tackling the age-old question, the conundrum. Can money buy happiness or buy yourself a love knot like that? Whilst research shows that more money and wealth can boost your happiness, prioritizing money over time can actually have the opposite effect. Now, suddenly this conversation starts to change. In today's Our Money Matters chat, I want to dig a little deeper into that money-happiness relationship. Thank you for bringing the love antenna into the conversation.
sorry.
I love that, man. No,
I needed to get involved in this one, man.
It does, man. Time to shine. But this is a really interesting question, and I think it's good that we think about this because it does raised some interesting questions around what your priorities are in the short term and in the long term. So maybe let's start with this, because I remember you telling me a tale of the lifestyle that you used to live when you were a young man and how you went all in and you were just loving the money that you were making.
Yeah.
Did money make you happier back then? And when was that rug pulled out from underneath your feet?
Bro, it was the craziest thing for me. Sold that concept of like, go to school, get a degree, get a job, and you'll have success. And I bought into that thinking it was success. Bro, I made decent cash. I was working for like big brands, throwing big parties at the time. And it was popular, making money, but it didn't fill any holes. It was the craziest feeling. It's like, this is everything I wanted, but why am I unhappy?
Not who you are.
I became more miserable. It was like I was just spending more money and I wasn't accumulating anything of value. It was the strangest concept to me. It literally got me to the point where I think this is where I am right now, because I quit immediately after realizing and feeling that. I was like, surely there's more to life. It's got to be...
Existential crisis.
Literally, bro. And I think that's why I'm here today, because I had to pull the plug on that fallacy that I bought into, man. It was crazy.
And it's not to say that money can't make you happier, okay? It's just how you work that relationship through. So if I had to give you the money, Zozo, what would you buy to make yourself happier? What does that wealth equate to in the happiness realm?
Well, it changes differently. I mean, right now where I am in life, I will whip out the Pinterest board and be like, let's add all the flowers, let's add more candles, let's do more. But I think, you know, that's if it's given to you.
And that's feeding an experience, right?
That's feeding
a
an
moment
experience,
in time
but I
for
mean,
you.
I don't have that money, so I had to scale down to accommodate what I can afford. And that's what, you know, what we're doing for our wedding.
How would you use your money to spread happiness here? So we talk about experiences and investing in that. I think we know that time is probably our most valuable commodity. So we want to stretch time out as much as we can. And maybe this is something that you can think about at home. Research shows that investing in those experiences, quality time with your loved ones, and buying time can boost your happiness. That's maybe where the equation really lies. So I know you're doing it obviously for the wedding, but is this a pattern that you guys, and I'll put this to both of you, have worked into your life? Do you make prioritizing time with people that you love, or even time for yourself in that sense, the value of time, have you made that connection?
Yes, we actually just did it this past weekend. I know I said we wanted to escape the madness of the hustle and the bustle of the city, but we were crazy. Like, Robbie was at the end of a project at work. He's been working late nights, and I've had more free time. So we actually used this weekend to just spend some quality time together.
Connect,
I can't actually put like a monetary value on that, to be very honest with you.
Because you need a nice place to stay.
Unfortunately, that hotel in Hermanus did put a monetary value on it, but it was
I feel you. But listen, man, I must say, like, going back to days like when I worked on Top Billing, right? I had this cool opportunity to chat to, like, successful people and people that have made a lot of money. Not all of them were happy, I can guarantee you that much. A lot of the sentiment that comes through is like, what's the point of having this money when you can't share it?
Yeah.
What's the point of having all of this when you can't have it with somebody? So like that moment of, or that feeling of being alone, often I think overrides any amount of money.
Yeah.
Chat to anybody, I'm sure they will correlate and agree with this. So the balance obviously is key, because yes, you do need a level of money to enjoy life and not be stressed by all these burdens. But I think it goes far beyond that. Ask anyone with a plethora of money. Ask anybody, and they'll tell you that it's not the priority. There's so many more important things they're chasing. That time spent, that quality time, those moments, those memories.
Stuff you can't get back. You can make money back, bro. You can make your money back. 100%. Now, every wealthy person out there is looking at their husband or wife going, are we plethora level of wealth? I want to know, am I at that point, bro? No, but it's completely true, because those moments in time, that's what stays with us. The money comes and it goes. But this is changing the narrative slightly. Yes, more money can make us more happy, but that baseline of happiness, that exists within us, and that's purpose-driven. There's something else there, but we do need the necessary foundation for a happy life. Otherwise, you will be very unhappy later on. Use your money to invest in experiences and quality time with your loved ones. Out of the 15,000 plus interviews I've done, that seems to be the one common thread, the most valuable thing we have. Now, one way that you can shore up and make sure you're saving wherever you can get that one bank account that will make being happy just a little bit easier, and it's the Nedbank My Goals account. It is engineered for you, because you'll get 50% off Your movie tickets, I know, are always open with it, but it's massive, okay? Making it accessible to spend more quality time with your loved ones. It's with your kids. That's what it's about. That's what you're buying. And you can even get 12 free domestic lounge visits per year to make your next holiday feel a little bit more VIP, and that will certainly make you happy. So invest in the good life. Check out the My Goals account at nedbank.co.za and phone someone you love right now and just tell them you love them and you appreciate them.
Mabel, check this. With a MyGoals premium account, you get 12 free airport lounge visits.
12?
Yeah.
God, David, when are you busy planning your next getaway during office hours? Man.
Oh, well, listen, it was a very good chat. Thanks, G-Man.
Yeah, well
we are
done.
taking the quickest of breaks. When we get back, yes, we've spoken about the avian flu and the bird flu and the impact it has on poultry in South Africa. But perhaps you need some alternatives for, you know, replacing eggs if we come down to that. So we'll be unpacking that a little bit more for you.
Yeah, we definitely, though, don't need an alternative when it comes to our performer because Zags Bantwinis are ready to bring on another one. Tula Mama's coming at us in just a bit. So Mzansi, get ready, get prepped, because it's all coming at you in just a bit.
I don't want to move the coffee tables, though. They're so beautiful.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso on S3. The South African poultry industry has, unfortunately, it's been hit by a highly pathogenic avian influenza. Now, the affected farms have been placed under quarantine. No live chickens and eggs are allowed to be removed from the farm, forcing us to make an alternative choice. We have nutritionist Liam Burke in studio to shed some light on this topic because I think a lot of people are now panic buying when they see eggs in store and you see on social media that there are a shortage of eggs. But Liam, it's great to have you here. So
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Liam.
Great to be here.
Thanks so much for coming through. I think a lot of us, like Zoe said, are potentially panicking or potentially panic buying and want to kind of just get at ease with what's going on. We had a great chat earlier. But let's talk about the actual sort of issue itself. How much of an impact this is having on us? I mean, especially when it comes to nutritional risks, are we going to be affected by the shortage? I know eggs provide a big nutrition in the whole industry in itself. Like, how much of that is being affected right now?
Sure. Great question. So, look, I mean, eggs, they're a powerhouse. You know, you're not going to be able to compare it to many other foods out there, unfortunately. But in saying that, it doesn't pose any risk in not having it. You know, we'll get to a bit into substitutes. But first off, what you want to think about is, you know, the eggs itself, they come with so much. They're so packed with fats and vitamins and proteins and whatnot. But we can substitute it. There's no problem with it. I think people are just going to miss their eggs in the morning more than anything else, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no dietary concerns.
Okay, so do not panic.
Yeah.
Now, I know they always say do not eat raw eggs because there are a lot of foodborne illnesses that can come from eating raw eggs in particular. But you see these protein people, like the fitness stars, him doing the raw egg shakes. Why is it so important, especially now, given the avian flu, why is it so important to rather cook your eggs or make sure you don't ingest raw eggs?
Sure, absolutely, great question. So yeah, I mean, we all know cooking actually eliminates all the viruses, the pathogens. I think for now, I think it's quite generally safe when you cook it through properly. I think there's two factors in this that we really need to actually consider. The one right now, I think, is making sure you cook your eggs properly. A lot of us like our sunny side up. So for now, I would stick with a poached egg. I'd actually boil an egg for now, making sure that there's absolutely no virus or pathogens in it. The second thing that I'd want to consider is making sure that you're being clean, cleaning all the surfaces, sanitizing properly, washing your hands, making sure that there's no residue left afterwards. And then lastly, also, you can refrigerate your eggs. I know a lot of people also leave their eggs out of the fridge, but studies have shown keeping the eggs in the fridge can actually slow down the rate of the viruses spreading.
Oh, wow. Okay, some sage advice coming through there. So definitely stay away from anything raw, right?
Yes.
So Rocky Balboa movies and stuff like that. Ignore that.
None of that. No Arnold Schwarzenegger, no Rocky Balboa.
Now, there's many of us that I think daily live on eggs, right? It's like part of the habitat that we have, part of the habits that we have, sorry. What are the alternatives? Are there going to be alternatives? You mentioned, obviously, we can replace it. Let's dive into that right now. Because I know a lot of us have already looked at alternatives when it comes to eggs. Maybe this is insight and incentive for many of us to change our diets. What have you got for us when it comes to this?
So, look, I mean, there's just so many different options. There's nothing quite like the egg, unfortunately, but it doesn't mean you can't replace it. For a lot of us South Africans today, we're trying to get the low-cost meals, of course. I know me and my family are too. So, first, let's start off with some oats. Some oats are great. I'd watch how much you'd have of it, because a lot of us are watching our calories these days. I know I am. So yeah, oats are great. They're versatile, protein-packed, lots of minerals. It's a good fiber. So that's a good first option I would stick with. Yogurt is another fantastic one. Great fat, good minerals again, good protein. And the same with the oats and the yogurt. You can mix up with things. You can put some bananas in there. You can put some apple berries, some chia seeds, So those are two good affordable options, I'd say. If you've got a bit more of a budget, I would do some fish in the morning. A nice fish on some rye or some sourdough if you can afford that. Again, packed with good fish oils, omega oils, fats, all that.
I'm thinking of recipes now, because they always say the eggs are the binding agent. How can we, let's say I want to bake a cake and I want to just, don't want to have eggs, or I don't currently have eggs. What would be a great substitution for that?
Good idea. Yeah, of course. It is a great binding agent. Everyone cooks with it, of course. Bananas are good. Bananas make a good binding agent. That's something fantastic, also nutritious. Otherwise, applesauce. Applesauce as well is something. So those are, applesauce. I never thought of that before. I'm not much of a baker myself, but so applesauce, bananas, those are two really good ones to look at.
Nice. Look, I also heard this theory of something going around right now. We have a lot of ostriches in South Africa, right? Ostrich meat is like rife. Very good for us as well, apparently.
Right.
What happens when it comes to ostrich eggs as an alternative, maybe? I don't know how easily accessible it actually is, but I've heard it being a decent alternative.
It is.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'd say go for it. If you can afford it, do it.
Okay. I actually have no idea what the price is.
I haven't seen ostrich eggs on sale before myself, but
quite interesting.
It would be interesting.
Serve the entire family and some as well.
It must be quite a big egg.
The decorative painted parts that's ridiculously overpriced.
I'm thinking of the Flintstones right now. I'm cracking one of those big eggs on there. No, but sure, that's a great option.
Okay, nice, man. But look, I think it's an interesting conversation because, like I said, it's not only the fact that we're looking at the avian and bird flu that's going on, but I think it's a great incentive for us as just normal human beings to look at alternative sources of our food, taking accountability for that too. So, love what you come through with this, man. Thank you for these nuggets.
Yeah, I hope it helped. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. It was great. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you, Liam. Well, listen, that is it. We want you to not panic. Yes, there could be a shortage of eggs due to the avian flu, but do not panic buy, do not panic. Find alternative solutions to make sure you hit those proteins, you get the right nutrients that your body needs, and there are many alternatives that we can use in the meantime for breakfast solutions or even for your baking.
So this is my face realizing that I can do a whole ostrich egg as a sunny side up. Okay, what's that going to look like? Or maybe egg and soldiers with a whole loaf of bread, a baguette inside. Absolutely beautiful. I know we're making light of this, but it is serious business. In the wake of the current avian flu outbreak, we wanted to know from you guys, how are you reacting? Are you panic buying? Have you stopped completely? Or just going on with life as per usual? And we've got Jenny weighing in with a voice note. Let's hear what she had to say.
Good morning, Expresso family.
Morning.
I'm Jenny from Mitchell's Plain. Must say, I love the colors. It's beautiful, earthly. The green goes for the booker. And yes, I've been using eggs. I'm still buying my same amount of eggs because I'm a cook sisters, and I have to use eggs. Thank you.
Oh, Jenny, we love you. Thank you for the compliments on the studio. I also agree with you. I love the earthy tones there as well. And it begs the question, there are those that rely on them, bakers, people like that. It's not just a nice to have. Let's see what Tandiwe had to say. Good morning, team. I reduced because 3 times now I try to get them and I don't. Always out of stock. I guess I've been really lucky in that sense. Sorry, Tandiwe. Then Randani saying, continue as usual, but because of the high pricing, I won't buy eggs anymore. Maybe we're getting priced out of the equation. I think the important thing to remember now is that we do not need to panic buy. That's often the worst fallout from opportunities or moments like this. It's not necessarily the repercussions of the avian flu, but it's how we react to it. And that panic buying is only going to tip the scales in the wrong way. But keep them coming. We'd love to hear from you this morning. How are you dealing with your eggs at this egg shortage, this moment in time? Well, we can always swap to a different protein. How does a steak salmi sound? We're going to be heading back to the braai in just a moment with Chef Clem, who is the master of steaks, is going to whip us up a beautiful looking sandwich. And then, of course, we've got the one, the only, Zakes Bantwini dropping some live music, some new music just for you. Stick around.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Now, of course, welcome back, first of all. It's widely known on the show that I am intermittent fasting at the moment, and of course, Chef Clem is doing everything in his power to test my resolve, and we might have reached a peak right now as he prepares to whip up the ultimate bride steak sandwich. This is how you test a man's bride prowess. Let's go.
Yeah, establish us and Goy to me first and say, listen, you guys have a lot to chat about, and I've got something to bribe. Talk to the people.
Yeah,
Let me
okay,
bribe, let me
fine.
bribe.
You do the thing that you absolutely love to do while I chat here to the superstar. Dila, how are you doing this morning?
Good, how are you?
I'm excited. We're talking bread. Obviously, you are one of the product developers when it comes to all this incredible stuff. So let's first talk about all the options, because I got options when it comes to all this. What do you got for us?
Okay, so today I brought the sourdough range because I feel like it's so extensive and it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And where do I even start? So
Start with everything actually, because I think everybody wants a piece of a different sourdough. There's different sourdough options, I believe, too, right?
Yes.
Okay, take us through this.
So before I even take you through that, I'll just quickly explain like sourdough because not a lot of people understand how you actually get that flavor. So you take flour, water, a lot of time and patience, and that's what gives you that sourdough flavor. It's very easy, but complicated because you basically want to get the natural leavener from the actual dough, and you don't use your commercial yeast, so you wouldn't necessarily add additional yeast. You just use the natural fermentation from that.
Nice.
And that's why it has that sour, tangy flavor.
I wanted to ask, is that the thing? Is it meant to have that? And it's not a sour that we don't like. It's got that, like, just a sour nuance that really brings, I think, like a different sort of a flavor profile to the bread itself, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, when it comes to this sourdough, I see you've got options, which you have keeping us in bated breath to go through. Take me through this because, there are so many I'm looking at right now. Is this all of it?
It is. So I'll take you through it in range of the acidity, the sourness, the tang. So you have this all-time classic fave, the crushed wheat sourdough, because it has that more subtle flavor and it tastes a bit creamy.
And I'm going to be honest with you, that's something I've been buying a lot of. I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but I actually pop that in like an air fryer, give it a little bit of a crisp. Oh, it turns into one of the best bases for anything.
It's best
I don't know if okay, so I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
I suppose you can toast them all and they'll be good. But anyway, carry on.
Then for the sesame seed lovers, we have this amazing one right here, the sesame seed sourdough. Also has a nice sourdough flavor, so you still get that nice tang.
Nice.
And if you're a rye fan, we have options for you with our rye breads. And one is multi-seed, because I know people also like to have that little texture in there.
Yeah.
And then if you're like an extreme sourdough lover, we have this beautiful one here in our in-store bakery.
Looks like a rustic piece of art. What is that? Nice.
Doesn't it give you like a bespoke feel?
Yes, like I want to invite guests over and do something special.
And show it off.
Yeah, exactly that.
And you can say you made it, and I won't say a thing. And then my absolute favorite is this one. So this is first to market, retail exclusive by Woolies.
All right.
We've turned sourdough into plant bread. So this is perfect for the whole family. It is perfect for the kids. It doesn't have that like acidity that's like strong. It's perfect for you.
Okay.
I love it as a toasted sandwich. I love it as French bread.
Stop it, you're making me hungry now. Stop, there's too many options coming here already, but actually I can't lie, there's not too many when it comes to Woolies because I think each of these has their place, right? Someone like Chef Clem definitely shows us how we can bring the most out of all of these options, but I love the fact that there's variety because I think every bread has a subtle nuance that brings any dish to life, and that's why I enter Chef Clem, obviously busy with something special right now. What are you up to, my man?
So like I was saying, as we started, and I was interrupting, I love the preparation for the steak sandwich because everything essentially is kind of put together for you. All that Woolies have done now is expecting you to do is just look amazing. And it is. What you do is you get your cast iron pan and you get it not on the bride grid, get it in the coals, okay?
Oh, so
get
that's
it screaming
up proper.
hot, right? So I'm gonna ask you, Raul, I've got some harissa paste there over here. There we go. I'm gonna ask you to open that up for me.
Oh, nice.
And we're gonna make like a hot harissa oil, okay? Again, we're not making our harissa from scratch. We're going with the Woolies harissa paste. And you want that like nice scream, okay?
Oh gosh, can we talk about the smell on this alone already? It's coming through.
Beautiful.
There's like a little bit of a garlic chili feel to this as well, right? What am I popping this in?
It's not that hot. It's warm, right? That's what you want. So we're gonna be careful.
Are we gonna get a little bit of sizzle? Dollop?
Yeah, go for it.
Whoop, there we go. It's a lot, a little more. Oh, now we're getting that outdoor feel.
And we're gonna get it back on the bride. It might catch, but that's also part of the flair, right?
Got you.
So we're going to leave that there. Okay, there we go. It's catching. I just want to heat the oil and the harissa up together. Then our steak, I've got a beautiful round steak. You see that shine on the steak?
Yes.
That's because I seasoned it with salt, okay, ahead of time. That's the shine is what you want.
Okay.
And what you could do is you can like cut this in half, put half the steak in that hot harissa oil, the other half on the brazier, different flavors, and then we like, you know, play around with it. Or keep it old school. You can see I've also slit the fat side a little bit.
Nicely
We're going
done.
to get this onto the braai. And again, you want to go nice and hot. High heat with this. Get on the side there.
Oh, yes,
Get
please.
that sizzle. Okay, this is what I want. I want to kind of like get a little bit of that char. The
Yeah, I
char
can
is what
see
you
that,
want.
yes.
Because you got a steak that's going to be super charry, so this can take that extra flavor. So I'm going to just put this. Oh, okay. I'm going to put this to the side. There we go. We'll come back to that.
Pop it. You know what? Because there's so many sourdoughs on option here. That's why the table's so full.
It is.
Okay, while you're busy with that, I wanted to ask you, Zandile, obviously, sourdough coming through, options coming through. What makes sourdough different, especially when it comes to Woolies? Because I know they're always ensuring quality.
Yes.
They're always ensuring like the bars being set. So how have they
Always.
done this when it comes to these options?
So we're the only retailer that actually uses a live culture, live starter.
Oh, wow.
And we don't, you know, use any additives to that. So you're actually getting the proper flour, water, patience, like I told you.
Sorry, can we take a moment to just celebrate that? I think you're literally taking care of the people. You're listening to us. You know what we want, and this is why you're coming through. I love that. That's enough to celebrate as well. But we're not going to stop celebrating yet because Chef Clem is still busy with his meal. How's it looking on your side?
Looking good. So I'm going to ask you, so what I've done is I've added that bread, that beautiful sourdough bread, into that harissa oil. And that's, again, that's just another way to play. Into the butter. Do that, you know? I'm going to ask you if you can start adding some of that steak to it. I've also got some sour cream. You can top it all up. This is a very rustic dish, so don't be too precious about the way you layer it. Just make sure you get all those layers in there. So, in front of you, Ryle,
yes,
I have got the sour cream.
All right, so sour cream's coming on there. Let's pop a little dollop. I'm going to just use one of your spoons here if you don't mind.
Please do.
All right, so on top of the one that's already been prepared,
yes.
right?
And what this does is, because it's beautiful, warm flavors of the harissa, now you're going to cool it down with that tangy, creamy, slightly acidity, slightly acidic.
See what you've done.
Yeah, it's all about the flavors.
perfect pairing, right?
Yeah, and then
Very
as soon as
nice.
you're done with that, hit it with that steak.
All right, let's pop some steak on here. Let me just grab a little. Here we go. That is perfect. Popping it straight on top, right? Look at
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
Artisanal style. I love this. This is like a bespoke. Have you ever thought of bread and bespoke in the same sentence? Well, Woolies got you.
Here we
We've done
go.
it right here, live on TV, coming at you.
Ryle, shame, give the people more meat.
This is like a...
What is going on?
You literally sound like I'm back at home. You know why I do that? You know why I do that, Clem? This is the service tricks. I'm going to teach you guys something for some Mzansi. Don't serve all your steak so that you can have some for yourself later on. You see what I mean?
I got you.
Keep some on your bread. You choose another sourdough option, and you've got 2 meals prepared. Your guests are happy, and so are you, and the rest of the family, if you do have so. Little tip
There we
of the day. Come
Here we go. Pop it on a board, serve it on a board,
good
okay,
it
all
looks.
individual pieces. Serve it with the Woolies potato salad. You've got an amazing,
yes.
amazing braai dish that you've made. You can make this whole thing 15 minutes flat.
You
Done.
lie. You lie.
Yes, yes, 15 minutes. And if Ralph serves the steak, 5 minutes, because you're not getting a lot of steak.
It's fine. We'll substitute all the steak for sourdough, especially
Yes,
when it's
any
this good,
day.
and you have every reason to. So it doesn't matter if you don't have a steak at all, as long as you got your bread. Zandile, I think it's a high five. We can celebrate the sourdoughs coming at you. Woolies have come prepared, so you can find this in any store at Woolies. You can get prepared for summer. The season is here, so let's celebrate. All right, who's eating first? You ready? Oh, it looks good. Yum. All right, we'll taste it.
Now we just need the games to be earlier so that we can enjoy that braai while watching the game.
There's nothing wrong with a braai late on a Sunday night, especially if the food looks that good. Of course, Zake Spuntwini needs a little bit of help deciding on his latest album's name, and you can find out more on The Insider tonight at 6 o'clock on S3, but you don't have to wait that long to see the man perform. He is back with an absolute banger. It's Tula Mama on the way on the other side of this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, I mean, I can't believe it. We are all so excited. Joining us on the stage is a Grammy Award-winning superstar musician, record producer, and of course, a very successful businessman, Zakes Bantwini. Give him a round of warm applause. You know, I'm battling to find the words to describe you because you are just such an icon, my friend. And for those,
thank you, man.
For those who's wondering, he smells like $1 million as well. All right, dude, can I just shake your hand because it's such an honor to have you, my friend. Such an honor, and we are looking forward to Abantu, my friend. 28th of October. That's where it's going.
October.
And you mentioned earlier on, I love what you've said. You said, in terms of the lineup, you know, there's so many different artists, there's different genres of people, and you're making it a South African show, which I absolutely love. And maybe I can get your take on this. You've been in this industry for so long, right? And we know South Africa as a nation, we stand together, yet, you know, with media and politics, there's always a divide somewhere. What is your message to the people, my friend?
I think we have to be very careful about the word segmentation, you know? Because I look at segmentation as the new segregation, you know? Because you're segmenting people based off who they are and where they come from. So therefore, you are kind of like perpetuating whatever that they're thinking, you know? And I think we have to be careful and just try to segment South Africa so much, because I think that's why we have some problems that we have in South Africa. Because in South Africa, we have a color problem. So this is a white people's problem. This is a black people's problem. This is an Indian people's problem. We don't have a South African problem. The only South African problem that we all identify with is load shedding.
And the fuel price.
And the fuel price. But I think we can never be able to transform or get this country to the next level unless we like each other. And we can never like each other if we don't socialize with each other. It starts there. So we need to socialize so that we like each other and understand each other, and then we can transform. So it would be hard to transform when you don't know each other, because you actually don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, and it starts with just having respect.
Yeah, it just starts there. So that's why we're doing a show about it. And Abantu is like, you come for the music, man, you stay for the people. That show, it's really not really about the festival or the concert. It's about us. It's about us as South Africans. It's just about us, you know, knowing about it. I think it's about each other's music and what we like. Because most of the guys, I mean, I've never seen like a Musa Keys and a Jeremy Loops in the one poster.
Right?
You know what I mean? So this is the very first time. So, you know, it's like we're creating oneness. It's creating oneness. And Cape Town was the best city to be able to do that. I mean, it's been named the best city in the world. So I wanted to do something that will tell the world how amazing we are. And then Cape Town, you know, was a city to do that for me. And I think everybody's rallied behind the show. So hence that's why I want to see each and everyone there, black, Indian, colored, white. I want to see everybody there.
I think that stadium is going to be packed, my friend. And thank you for making the time. We know that you are an international artist now, and you're doing your thing abroad, and audiences on that side love what you're doing. I mean, you're scraping up the awards as well, but yet you make the time to come back here and unite people down here, which I think is fantastic.
It starts here, man. It starts here. I think it's oneness. Yeah, it's oneness. We have to create oneness. Nelson Mandela had a dream of a rainbow nation, you know, and I think it's really I'm still just rallying behind it, because it's kind of like we forgot where we come from, and as South Africans, man, we always pull through together. We always
do. We South Africans.
We're South Africans, man. We always pull through. So I think that's what it is. So Abantu, as you know, Abantu means the people. It's really about us, man. It's about the music. It's about us socializing. It's about us just knowing each other and really liking each other.
You see, you're going to get so much more than just the music at the show, that's for sure. Listen, tickets on Howler. That's where people go get it. So if you don't have your tickets, please go get it now, because it is going to sell out very, very quickly. Dude, I have the utmost love and respect for you for the longest time already. Thank you very much for making the time to join us.
Thank you.
What are you performing?
I'm going to be performing my new record. It's called Mama. This one is dedicated to each and every mother alive or had passed on. I don't have a mother anymore. But I think this song is really about just giving, you know, appreciation to each and every mother, because, you know, I mean, they are our entrance to this world.
Literally. All right, Zakes, take it away. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man.